Good evening and welcome to round 5 of Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series. I'm Breno Ellis and tonight I'm joined by a special guest, none other than Daniel Scooney Cicluna. How are we going on this fine evening?
Thanks for having me, man. And good evening, everyone. I'm not your usual tones of who's usually here. I can't remember. I just got drafted in today, so yeah, I'll do my best to just stay in the background and keep everything interesting.
I think the racing last night was pretty spicy, so let's see what happens tonight. Hopefully a little bit of weather. It is supposed to be a variable round, but all the splits last night were, and all the races, should I say, were all dry. So hopefully a little bit of a moistness to spice it up tonight.
Yeah, I reckon so. That'd be pretty good, just to get add a little bit of spice to the life. A little bit of rain doesn't hurt anything, and usually brings out some of the wet weather warriors out there. So we can only hope for the best.
100%. And how much Barcelona likes to chew through the tyres. I think a bit of dampness on the track wouldn't harm some of the drivers. I think they'd enjoy that a little bit more. As we're about 3 minutes into the first qualifying session on board here with, I believe it's Thomas Frustuk in the beautiful NASCAR liveried Mustang. Bit of a reference here to Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. So there'll be plenty of shake and bake jokes and references thrown around tonight anytime these guys are on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he can get a teammate and get I think what's his name, Carl Norton Jr. I think that's Ricky Bobby's uh teammate in there that drives the other. It's like a Old Spice one, like an Old Spice car, I think. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I think we have on screen just now.
Oh, do we? Oh, there we go. Wow, I didn't even see that at first. So yeah, hats off to the hats off to the fellas in the that make the liveries and all that. Like, I mean, what I've known about Octane and like the Sprint series and all and that, and even in the endurance series, they always have some amazing liveries. So yeah, hats off to the guys that like know how to do those liveries. I knew how to do them a while ago, and now I've kind of forgotten. I have to get back on the Photoshop, but yeah, they always do a cracking job.
Yeah, 100%. Some incredibly talented people in the OR community do deliveries. As we see another beautiful one there, I believe there's the Marlboro of Brad Cook, I think we're on board with. He's currently got pole position only by a fraction, an absolute hair at this point in time. With Jamwise here, Joshua Holmes chasing him down, loses a little bit out of the hairpin there actually, was a 10th up coming into it. Not sure what the track conditions are at this point in time, but they do seem to improve over this first quali session, at least that's what I found last night. So I reckon we'll see those times tumble, especially towards the end of qualifying.
Yeah, 100%. We'll see a bit of track evolution. Everyone's going out on everyone's putting out their Sunday best right at the end, and yeah, with about 3 minutes, 2 minutes to go, we'll see some real quick times.
Oops. There we go, 43.500 as Cook crosses the line. That is very aesthetically pleasing time. Smack bang in the middle. We got Taylor as well. So Cook and Taylor both, I think this is their first round in Split Blue for this season. Both in the Honda, both teammates, good mates as well, I believe. So we'll see what they can do. Taylor currently a 10th up or thereabouts on his time, losing a fraction out of turn 3 as we come up to the very tricky sweeping right-hander before a little bit more of a technical section at the bottom of the hill. He's keeping that delta at about 600-700. We'll see if there's time in this middle sector and in the final sector. Currently 6/10 off the pace, just knocking on the door of a 43 at the moment. So we'll see how this progresses towards the remainder of the lap.
And I mean, Catalonia is such a hard track to get right. Like it's a real challenge to the drivers. Like just to you know really nail a lap down. And as we've seen in the past, like with the various different racing categories we have there, your F1s, your GT series, and all that, it is very very difficult to pass. So, but with GT cars and ACC, anything is possible.
Yeah, 100%. There are a couple overtaking opportunities. Nothing like, your likes of Monaco or Bathurst or Zandvoort. But it's one of those tracks where you have to eat away at the overtake. As we see Taylor improves 3.5 tenths, goes to a 43.7, pushes himself up into P4, just behind Monks there. Again, 5,000 seems to be a bit of a theme at this point in time. Lele comes across the line, will grab P5 from Sweeney. Currently, our two leading silver drivers are very, very tight up the top in split blue. I believe there is 18 points covering the top three in the penultimate round of the championship. So Monks is still just ahead of Holmes by about 14 points, and then Lele is only 4 points behind him, 18 off of Monks. So we'll see how those drivers go. Obviously, we're getting to the pointy end of that championship, so everybody's going to be wanting to extend their lead or catch those the gaps in this race. As we jump on board here with Brad Cook, as we're going to do a flying lap of the beautiful Catalunya circuit, coming down the main straight. Here, we'll see what the Honda can get up to. I know it can be pretty good on the straights, but obviously you want a very high downforce setup here. Barcelona is very tricky to get a setup right. I didn't actually look at what speed he got up to down the straight. So we come into 1 and 2 here. Nice curb usage there. Come across, back to the left. Hug it tight for the right. Back on the power. Don't go too wide. He's done beautifully there. Maybe lost a touch. Didn't use all of the track there. Now you want to bomb it into the hair. I wouldn't say this is a hairpin. A sweeping, double backing right-hander. You want to get on the power as early as possible, trailing really deep. Then you've got the really tricky, tight left-hander. Very, very difficult, very, very easy, to go wide here, but nails it nicely. Late apex on the power, very nice. As we go for the S's up the hill, very easy to get on the grass here on the outside or get caught up on the curb. There goes a little bit deep. I think that is on the absolute limit of track, absolute limit of what the track allows. Now coming through the right-hander, oh wow. I would be very curious to see if that's actually valid or not. That is, again, right on the limit, braking just before the 100 board into the hairpin, down to first gear, tap that apex, right on the power. The Honda very, very good on the exits of the corner. Now we come around this very incredibly long sweeping right-hander. So easy to get on the power, a little bit too early here. Then we've got the difficult 90-degree right. Oh, beautifully on the curb there, and now the worst corner on the track, and it's not even an argument. The hairpin here does really well, hugs the first part, very tight, opens up the exit as much as possible. He's about a 10th up, coming across the line. This is going to be a 43.4. It was not valid, I don't think, no. Last 43.417. So about a 10th. Oh, as we see, Taylor getting Honda'd through the fast right-hander at the top of the hill. As Thistleway has just come out of nowhere.
Well, yeah.
We haven't seen this lap.
Yeah, hang on. Let's see what Thistleway's timed here. He's just gone straight to P2 with a brilliant time in the Bentley. I tell you what, Thistleway, when he's got all of his ducks lined up in a row, he's a solid driver, man. And, sorry, yeah, the Bentley. My bad. I'm currently watching this on a phone screen, so it's a bit small and all that. But yeah, Thistleway, when he gets all these ducks lined up in a row, I've watched him countless different sprint series. He is a class driver.
Yeah, 100%.
See this.
Sorry. It's all right. As we see, jump on board here with Holmes. I can't tell how far off the pace he is, but he's about 2 tenths up, losing a little bit. Oh, he's actually going to gain it
That was
and then lose it again. Yeah. Not the cleanest.
That looked like a good chicane. It looked like a good chicane, but it was getting that power down on the exit just didn't really work out for him. And it's a nice tidy P2, and it's only a just a shy of a tenth of a second off of the pole time here. We'll have one more shot, but it looks like Brad Cook is absolutely cooking here, no pun intended, with a
Another.
43.3, 3/10, almost 3/10 for clear of the nearest competitor. Excellent
Yeah.
lap, and it just makes you wonder: is he going to go for another one? Because I don't know if that's going to be beat.
It doesn't look like it. I reckon he's returned to garage, whether that's because he's happy with the lap or he just didn't have the fuel for another one. Because he would have had the time. He crossed the line with probably about 9 seconds to go. So jump back on board here with Holmes. Currently, well, he was only a tenth and a bit up. Now he's 2.5 tenths up. Loses a little bit as we head up to the fast right-hander. Oh my goodness, there's plenty of time there. He's going to keep about 3 tenths up, losing just a little bit. No, it's down to 2 tenths. Oh, I mustn't have gotten the power as early as he had in the previous laps. Loses a little bit of time. Let's see what we can do in the final sector here. I know the Bentley would be an absolutely mega through the chicane. It would just absolutely just not care about the little bumps and whatnot, and the torque that the Bentley has on the corner exit is second to none. So we'll see what he could do in this final sector here, but Brad Cook is looking very, very strong on that provisional pole at the moment. Oh, he's bumped the curb.
Oh,
And a big slide and an
he's
invalidation,
gone a bit too wide
unfortunately.
there.
Oh,
Yeah, big invalidation there. That first part of the chicane is really what set the car offline, and then just the second part again hitting the bump, hitting the curb at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's just sent him wide. Meanwhile, we have
oh,
Brad Cook. He's continued, but he's just had a big another Honda moment. Oversteer, understeer, whatever steer. It just steers. So, but he's maybe having a little bit of a victory dance as Cricky just absolutely abolishes that bollard there. He's on a good time through the chicane cleanly enough. Coming through the final corner, sweeps the Bentley around the final corner and puts himself up into, if my thing will load, up into P18. So one position improvement, and that will set the grid.
yeah, there we go. Look at it. That's pretty aesthetically pleasing. You got the 4 pros at the top, then 4 silvers, then 4 pro-ams. It's quite nice. It's a very
Yeah,
aesthetically pleasing, like a 43.300 is the pole time. You know, like it's yeah, it's all very nice. And we've got a request in
don't
the
let those
chat.
times see.
Oh, sorry, we've got a request in the chat to look at Toto's bonnet. I'm expecting something interesting here after his previous livery in the Aston.
I just see one on I just see one that just says blue, 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 blue over it. Just written, just written blue all over it. So that's a very it matches the theme at least.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely on
As
brand.
we walk through. Mm-hmm. You take a look. So they were saying Toto's bonnet, I reckon.
Yeah, so riding with Tim, I believe that is Tim Gobe. As yeah, put in a request of Mr. Broadcaster Man, if he would be so kind. So got about a minute to go. Drivers putting down their tyre pressures, upping their brake ducts. Looks a little bit cloudy, yeah. The weather widget, full cloud here. No rain forecast. So even if it does change now, it'd only be for the last lap or so. So it looks like it's going to be another dry race here in Split Blue. But in less than a minute's time, we'll see the drivers peel out onto their formation lap. I would say warm the tyres, but I think the track will do that regardless. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So that was Monk's livery, and the pink knickers have made a return. So instead of being on the back of the car, they're now on the front. So hopefully, maybe they'll scare off the competitors ahead. That is
I think he's going to scare off the competitors with how big his footlong is. Yeah. Yeah, god damn, that's mighty impressive. But going back to the conditions, with it all cloudy and all that, surely we're going to see the tires last a lot longer, being a lot cooler. Track maybe being a lot faster as well. They won't have to push as hard. As one of the Astons struggling to get off the line there, maybe getting a few 1, 2, 3 pushes from behind just to get it. We help each other out. It's all good. I think
Yeah,
that was
he actually
Lele.
doesn't. He doesn't actually have the keys, and he had a bit of a bump start there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very murky day here in Catalonia, but no rain on the horizon, frustratingly. But you know, things could change. I don't know what the weather's like in Spain, but yeah, if that was Australia and it was
Oh.
that cloudy, you'd expect some rain like imminently.
Well, I guess it depends on what part of Spain you're talking about, because I think Valencia got a little bit of a shower late last year.
Mm, mm. Speaking of showers, hope everyone in like southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales are doing well with the floods and all that, or the imminent floods. I know there are a few people that on my mine site that have actually flown back to their homes to put down sandbags and protect their families and all that. So hope everything is going well at least. Keep your heads above water and
Mm,
yeah, stay safe out there.
there we go. As we're starting to go double file. The what was that? The left-hand side, um, lagging it back a little bit, but double file as we head into the final sector. Soon to come around the final corner and get underway for the first race here tonight. So the format tonight is two 30-minute races. The second race will be a top 10 reverse grid. So the second qualifying, you won't actually see the top 10 drivers go out. It'll be everybody else. So technically pole in qualifying 2 will actually only be for P11 in the overall race, as the drivers sort themselves out here, making sure to hold 80, maybe a little bit of brake boosting, especially for those Hondas. Make sure to drive over your grid boxes as we're coming towards the line here. It's a little bit later of a start with the manual race start that Octane does do. And it looks like we're underway. It looks like Monks gets a pretty good launch, goes immediately to the outside, gets the jump on Bub now. He's actually ahead coming into the first corner. Brad Cook immediately goes defensive. He's going to come back to the racing line here. Cam Thistleway and Josh Holmes are going to go side by side into the first corner. We've got side by side between, I believe that's Taylor and Monks in the background. Well, 2 by 2 they went into the arc. Everybody gets through pretty cleanly, it looks like. No yellow flags in the background. So everybody's got through turn 1 and 2 cleanly for lap 1. Brad Cook emerges still victorious at this point in time in P1. Closely behind is Joshua Holmes. Not going to let him go just yet. And then Thistlewade feeds in behind as well. Everybody almost back down to single file here. We'll see if there's any moves into the first tight corner. The McLaren there goes for a move. Unfortunately collects the corner. Oh, I've jinxed it really hard there, haven't I? He collects the corner, the front fender of the Aston Martin, spins himself around, then doesn't actually hold the brakes and rolls back into the oncoming traffic behind. So I think that'll be a bit of a big whack stick, as Mr. Hobbs would say, coming for, I'm not sure which McLaren that was, maybe Lewis or Wood further down in the pack, as Monks actually goes around the outside, it looks like, of Cam Thistlewhite there. Takes P3 away, gets on the podium there. So actually started behind Lele, who's dropped back down to P9. So I was going to say that's going to be an interesting battle with them staying directly behind one another, with only 4 points separating them in the championship, in the silver championship, should I say. But Monks is no messing around from him, up all the way up into P3 already, as Cook sets the non-representative fastest up there,
Yeah.
49.3.
Monks has got a mega start from sixth to third, especially at a track like Catalonia. It is no mean feat. That is a mega start from the Mustang driver there. As yeah, Brad Cook is making sure he
Oh
stays
no.
out in front as we have a really, really nice battle here with Sean Bobnell. And oh, I just jinxed it.
Oh mate. Yeah,
Oh,
that's.
Bobnell and was that Sweeney? Brown
I think it's
Sweeney get
Brownets.
together and oh sorry, Bennett, my bad. Yeah, it's real choppy here. Being that's just the internet access that I have here. It's not great being in the middle of absolutely nowhere. But I tell you what's not absolutely in the middle of nowhere. These top four, they are separated by very, very little. I mean, Brad Cook is just starting to eke out a little bit of a gap right now. But as you can see the top eight pretty much all in one picture there. Top nine, if you include Rondinella there.
As we
Hopefully I
jump.
got your name right there. As we
Oh,
take a look at the
it's.
replay there, and it's just it's a yeah.
Yeah,
He had
it's.
the run, and he thought he was going to move out just a little bit there, but unfortunately, it just gives Bum now a few taps in the rear, and that's all he wrote or she wrote, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Bob now has not been having the luckiest season, unfortunately. I think that's probably the third time he's been taken out in only 5 rounds. So I'll see what he can do in race 2, or even what he could do in race 1, because I don't think he got any damage. Nobody collected him coming back through. So he'll still have the car in almost pristine condition. It'll just be a bit of time loss. As we jump back on board here with Holmes and Monks. Holmes just sets the fastest up there, 44.5, so we'll see those times come down a little bit. Track is optimum, obviously a little bit overcast as well, but the temperature is 23-28, about what they're expecting to be. As we jump on board for another replay. I reckon this is the McLaren and the Aston that we saw earlier. So the McLaren comes across to the left here, pulls out for a move. I think I might actually be on the Aston, to be honest. We'll see what the stewards reckon about that one there, but everybody gets through fairly cleanly. Nobody collects the McLaren there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to decipher who that was via the livery or the number there, so somebody further down, maybe Jeff Coates, possibly in P17 at this point in time, but the gaps are starting to open, so it looks like about the top 10 have pulled a fair gap to those behind. I can't tell, unfortunately, on the stream there. I think it might be number 8. So yeah, Lele, 3.5 seconds behind. Sorry, so it's only the top 6. They're starting to walk away from the remainder of the grid. Sweeney actually takes the fastest lap. Yeah, so Lele, 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. That's really going to harm his championship battle. So that probably explains what happened on lap 1. Oh, is that what we saw? So that was Lele. Sorry, my bad. I thought that was a different Aston Martin. So that was Lele there that tagged the back of the McLaren and spun him around. So unfortunately, that's going to be a big invoice for Lele. That's going to drop him probably down to Saxon and Bob now in P15, 16 there. But we'll see. It's still 24 minutes to go, so we'll see how much of that penalty he can nullify. As the top couple are trading fastest laps, it was Cook, and then as soon as Holmes crossed the line, he just nabbed it back again. So we'll see how this race develops. Bentley very good on the tyres, I've heard. As we've got a replay here. I believe this is Holmes and Cook. Wow, that is as close as it gets.
Wow, what a mega send there! That is, yeah, absolutely. That is as close as it gets. Joshua Holmes just putting the anchors on of that Bentley boat, and my God, well, Brad Cook, he's just slowed up a little bit. Maybe just a few tactics here, just keeping the tires fresh, possibly for maybe a bit more life in them at the end. As they've all got to watch out, because I reckon Nathan Monks is going to have a pounce on Holmes and then on Cook as well. He is showing some excellent pace. Stuff being a silver, this guy is running it comfortably with the pros.
Yeah, I think there might be a bit of a promotion coming for Mr. Monks in future seasons. I'm almost surprised it didn't happen in the mid-season break. He's shown some incredible pace and has always been up the top. In fact, I think he won Silverstone actually, if I'm not mistaken. So, or at least he was in he was in contention to win. But yeah, these top 3, you can't split them. Less than a second and a half splits them, as we see Chris Taylor on the back of Thistleway here. We'll see what the
He's
Honda...
got a good run.
Yeah, we'll see what the Honda can do against the Bentley here. I think they're just sort of the gap's gonna just maintain itself. Even in the slipstream, I don't think the Honda can really pull aside or be pulled along by the Bentley. It's just gonna stay there at that maintain that gap. As we see Sweeney just in the background there, just lurking. Just gonna wait for these two guys up ahead to battle and see if he can capitalize. But these guys have absolutely walked away from Lele and P7. Yeah, 5.1 seconds the gap. So maybe Lele's put on use set, or he's just a little bit rattled after lap one. But he's just definitely not showing the race pace that, one, we know he has, and two, that you would expect him to have after his fairly strong performance in qualifying.
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, I tell you what, maybe a little bit of tactics from the top three, just keeping the top four and fourth, fifth, and sixth in close proximity. There, they're all huffing each other's dirty air, maybe heating up the tires a bit more than they probably should. And yeah, we'll just have to see how this race unfolds. And we're only 8.5 minutes in, so they've still got an entire. I don't even know. It's not a compulsory stop for this for these sprint races, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So no mandatory stops. So it's go hard or go home for the entire 30 minutes.
Short, fast, and loud. That's the way I like it. I'm riding on board here with Joshua Holmes, still sizing up, just keeping tabs with Brad Cook, just filling the mirrors, you know. And yeah, Brad certainly knows he's there. He's definitely he can probably read the VIN number on if there's a VIN number on the back of the Honda. He can definitely remember, probably seen that a couple of times. He can remember it off by heart. As we see, and same with Monks as well. Monks is really up the rear of Joshua Holmes there as well. Thought about having a little move there, drifted to the inside and nothing doing. As we know, the Ford is very good in a straight line using that beautiful V8 power. And I really wish, I don't know if anyone has seen the testing footage of the Ford at Monza, but man, having the unrestricted exhaust or something like that, man, that sounded mega.
Yeah, I know it's not exactly the same, but the Mustang GTD at Nordschleife, I've watched that hot lap more times than I want to admit. That thing sounds so good. I'm pretty sure they strapped a microphone to the exhaust, and on the downshifts, the rev match downshifts, you can't go past it. There's nothing like a stonking V8. The sound of a stonking V8 tops basically everything. And a racing V8, don't get me started.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we'll see. Unfortunately, Monks has dropped off the back of the top two here, so the top two just kind of stretching away from the pack here, and Monks kind of falling a little bit behind, but it's a pretty topsy-turvy race here as we see Rondella going up the inside of Brown Net here. That should be an easy pass, but as you can see, this track does fold in on itself quite a bit. So, unfortunately, Rondella, it's frozen for me. There we go. Now we're back. And Rondella, unfortunately, couldn't make the move there, but he does have a little bit of a run, possibly, and it does not. Brownette does get away, but he runs a little bit wide there. Could possibly be on for the switchback here if Rondella has a think about it, and he just slots in back behind. Waits to fight another day. Well, I mean, the two guys in front do have 15-second time penalties, so maybe that is having a factor in his decision to not go for it. As we see, yeah, only 6 laps in, only 18 minutes to go here. We're not even halfway through, and it's really, it could be anyone's game. It's leaning towards the top two to be, up near to be kind of stretching their lead away from the pack if they're smart about it. But you know, everyone wants to be leading at whatever time in the race. As we see Brad Cook now turning up the pace. There we go, 43.8. Only about half a second slower than his pole lap that he achieved. Yeah, he's really turning up the wick now. As we seem to have lost Breno for a little bit. That's all right. I'll keep it rolling the best I can. As we see, right on board with Monks once again, just keeping them, you know, just over 1 second behind. It's not really much you can do. Thistleweight just having a little bit of a sideways moment there in the Bentley. Still such a good car, despite how old it is. It's a 2018 model, so it's still being used in the current day. So unfrozen again and come back. Come on, Bush Internet. Maybe jump on board with Chris Taylor here. Just kind of the meat and the sandwich in between the. Oh, here we go. Little bit of a look up the inside there. Not too smart of a place to do it. The track does fold back on itself here. He's gonna have to wait maybe for the pit straight here. Just get through the hairpin nicely, get a nice exit, and see what he can achieve there with the Honda up against the Bentley. As we see another fastest lap from Brad Cook. He is just turning on the afterburners here. Only a few hundredths faster than his previous lap, but still, that pace on pace on pace. Every single lap just leaves a lot to be, a lot for Holmes to think about. Sorry, not Jordan Holmes, Joshua Holmes. Jordan Holmes is a goalkeeper. I think I made that mistake before many times, but as we see, the battle for fourth place is just absolutely, like, you can put a blanket over the three there. There's just nothing separating the three here. As we see, Taylor does run just slightly wide, maybe an alternate line, catch that late apex, he gets a better exit. There is a bit of method to his madness, I can see. I don't know. So we're halfway through there. Taylor's just losing tabs of Thistleweight there. He might come under attack of Sweeney here. Sweeney's just waiting in the wings for an opportunity here. Taylor does go very shallow. Still gets a decent exit there as one of the Honda's definite strengths are. But again, 4th, 5th, and 6th just cannot separate them. Monks is kind of he's in no man's land at the moment. He's kind of just running his own race. He's still in the podium places. Still good. Still going to bag really good points for this race, anyways. But it's just not really much doing at the moment. All you can really hope for, I guess, is a bit of a mistake from either the top two or something, yeah. As we take a look at your top 10, which is Cook in first, Holmes second, Monks third, Thistleweight fourth, Taylor, who we're on board with now, is fifth, Sweeney sixth, Lele seventh, and Brownette in eighth, both with 15-second time penalties. That is going to hurt hard. Come the end of the race there, as we see Jaden Rondinella still lurking. He's going to have a look down the outside. Sorry, going for the switchback possibly. Here we go. There's a little bit of a run. There's a little bit of an overlap. There's an invitation. There's an invite, and he's taken it with full arms. Oh no! And Bennett. Unfortunately, they have come together Rondinella, I don't know if he's going to try and redress that. He's in another battle now with Lewis, I believe. Oh, that would have been an excellent battle there, but Rondinella, well, he's going to cop the same fate as Brownette there. Such unfortunate coming together there. Really thought they could run side by side through that left-hander, but unfortunately not doing there, and Rondinella is definitely going to get a big old slap on the wrist for that one. There we go. As we take a look at the replay there, as you can see, unfortunate coming together there. I really thought there was a bit of an overlap there, and I believe that was also another innocent bystander that got into that. I'm just not. It's been very, very choppy so far. Thank you, middle of nowhere internet. But we press on. We do what we can. We do what we can, not what we can't. As we see the top two battle here with Joshua Holmes and Brad Cook. There's Holmes still just lurking in the shadows, just filling the mirrors up. You know, that Honda's just it's running a little bit scared right now. He hasn't been able to put the fastest lap after fastest lap kind of pace that he was able to achieve at the start of the stint. Or midway through the stint, I should say. But yeah, so it could be a turn for the better for Joshua Holmes here. And as we see Chris Taylor nicely through the final chicane there. That final chicane, I really think they should put an updated version of Barcelona in ACC. Simply due, I don't even know if they're running Barcelona this year in the GT, I think it's called GT World Challenge in Europe. I don't know if they're running Barcelona this year, but if they are, I really, really hope they don't run that chicane there. It just completely just chops up the rhythm, really. And yeah, I think that is outdated and it should part ways. And yeah, that's my little hot take for the day. Still no Breno, but we press on. We do what we can. Oh no!
I am back. I was going to say I don't like the chicane. I'll put that out there straight away. I'm also not sold on the new layout either. I don't know. I like the technicality of the last sector. I honestly, personally feel as if they made the chicane more like an S's, like say like the final chicane at Nürburgring, at least in this game's version. I think something like that where you can take a lot more speed and it's a bit easier to get right. I think something like that there would really complement the flow of the rest of the track while still adding that complexity. Because just having two basically almost flat out corners, like the last two at Red Bull Ring, say, I don't know, it takes a little bit away, but that's just my 2 cents. I know the new one's better for F1. The chicane obviously just did nothing for F1, so that's probably why they got rid of it more so. But I believe GT World Challenge Europe is running Barcelona. I can't imagine they're not, but I'm also all ears. As what's happened here?
As we see, there's a big fight. There's a huge fight for the lead here. Joshua Holmes just muscling his way through with the big old Bentley just taking the lead there. Must have had a big lunge going into turn 1. As we take a look at the replay here, so you can see Brad Cook just snaking away. Big run for Holmes here. Goes around the outside. Track's going to immediately fold it onto itself. They are rubbing panels side by side, and Holmes just makes it round the outside. Gets the advantageous corner right, like literally immediately after, and just takes away the position with some force. Brilliant move round the outside to stick it Just send it, stick it, and, well, deliver it.
Yeah, it takes two to tango with a move like that. Joshua Holmes gave Brad Cook exactly one car width. It looked like there on the inside. He just had to trust Cook not to go that little bit wide. That definitely could have ended in tears. But these two very talented drivers, and they've made it. They've made it work. We'll see 7.5 minutes or thereabouts to go. So we'll see if Cook has any response for Holmes. Holmes has been going a little bit deep, I've noticed, into the first part of the chicane. So that's probably where Cook's going to have to sort of capitalise on that move. But we'll see what he can do in the slipstream here. As we saw earlier with Taylor and Thistleweight, Honda can't only really stick with the Bentley. It can't really do much in the slipstream. He really needs to pray for a really good run, or a really bad run, sorry, from Holmes out of the final corner. Just a little bit of a sniff on the gravel. And we'll see if the Honda might just have the legs, maybe to get alongside and look for something into turn one. Maybe a little bit of a repeat going around the outside there for Cook on Holmes. But 7 minutes to go. I'd say that's probably about 5 laps worth or thereabouts. So we'll see if Cook has a return serve for Holmes, but Holmes is looking very, very strong in that Bentley.
Well, there we go. The tyre saving tactic, I guess, has worked for Joshua Holmes there. Brad Cook was just putting fastest lap after fastest lap, and it may have bitten him in the backside right at the dying stages of the race here. And yeah, Joshua Holmes just stayed in his slipstream, just bit his tongue, did what he could to save the tyres and kind of keep the tyres cool, run his own race and all that. We see a nice little move. Oh, we see, who was that? Was that Marsh there just forcing the issue through? The lead AM driver, who's mixing it with the Pro-Ams at the moment, doing a very good job up into P14 there. And comfortably the best AM driver at the moment. As we can see, I believe that's David Baker down in P23. But Jeff Coat might have a bit of a run here. He's going to have a big send.
Oh,
Don't
no.
really see many moves here. Oh,
and he's got
that's
Kuno
unfortunate coming together. And yeah, he's got half spun and yeah, as you say, Kuno's there. But yeah, unfortunately, he was just in the what we like to call the vortex of danger. When it comes to going into a corner, you're up the inside, but you're not so much you're not far enough up the inside. The guy in front just turns in like it's still their corner. He tried to give him a bit of space, I could see, but yeah, it just wasn't enough, unfortunately, and just a little coming together there, and yeah, just unfortunate. Would have been a good battle.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was brewing up to be something special there. So I reckon one for the stewards, unfortunately, for Wood and Jeff Coat there. But we jump back on board of the passenger seat of the 695 Honda of Brad Cook, trying to hunt back down Holmes after he got past a lap or two ago. 4 minutes, the time is running out. It's going to take something spectacular here from Cook to get this back, but funnier things have happened.
Yeah, stranger things certainly have happened in this game here. And yeah, we just got to remind ourselves, it's not so much a game, but yeah, these guys, it may be a game, but these guys have, all the skill in the world. And yeah, there are some class drivers here, as we see Joshua Holmes on the hard defense going into turn one there, just trying to disturb Brad Cook's rhythm, and he lives to fight another day. But Brad Cook is closing back just that little bit. He's just waiting for his opportunity to pounce and take that position back.
Yeah, a little bit of the dirty air there coming through turn three. Goes a little bit wider than he would have liked. Still holds it about where he was behind Holmes. Obviously the Honda very, very good through the corners. Very nimble car. So we'll see what he can do. He's right back under that rear wing of the Bentley. I reckon the Bentley will pull away a little bit here and down on the run to the hairpin. But yeah, gap opens up just a little bit there. once again as we come up the hill, and we'll crest it at the right-hander and then head down towards the hairpin.
Yeah, Brad Cook will really have to focus on turning in just that little bit earlier to try and negate the dirty air that big old Bentley is creating for him there. So just try and turn in ever so slightly, maybe a few milliseconds earlier than you would normally, and let the dirty air kind of pull you in line, as you'd say, as a battle for a top 5 finish here is now brewing. Sweeney really, really just up on the rear of that Honda, doing absolutely everything he can to get a nice exit. As come on, stream, do something. There we go. As we see Brad Cook still not close enough, still just that little bit too much away, only 3/10 away from the lead. But Chris Taylor goes mega defensive there. Very, very big defense. He still gets it pulled up and turned nicely through turn 1 and the first few complex of corners through the first sector. But he's definitely sweating on Sweeney that back there. Nice alliteration there. But so we'll see how that turns out. I think they may have one more lap to go, these guys.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be one more after this, but you can never go too defensive against the Mustang on a big straight. So as you see, Cook goes a little bit wide there, grabs the grab, but that might even be a track cut.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go too wide there. I don't know if there's like those little sausage curbs there. So I haven't driven Barcelona in a while, but if there were sausage curbs there, that would have been a game, set, and match right there. As we see,
just as well.
As we can see, just still not close enough. I feel like, the Bentley does have the legs with that. Is it a V10 twin turbocharged V10?
I think it's the V8 twin turbo V8.
V8 twin turbo V8. Yeah, definitely has the legs on the NSX there.
Yeah, look at it.
Just pulling away. What the Bentley doesn't have in cornering ability, it has in absolute power and just the ability to just absolutely munch curbs like it's nothing.
Oh yeah. As we see, so
as they get their orders now, final lap of the race.
Yeah, I've just noticed the gap from Lele to Rondinella, 11.2 seconds. That is massive. That almost nullifies basically all of his penalty. So he's not going to drop anywhere near as far back as I thought he would. He'd be barely, granted it's still not great, but barely going to be P12. So unfortunately just outside the top 10, so we'll have to qualify in the second session, which will be starting in just a couple minutes time. We're on board with Sweeney here, has actually just dropped off the back of Taylor on this final lap, unfortunately, so I don't think he's going to be able to grab that top 5, but still a very good result, and he'll start about 5th as well in the second race with that top 10 reverse grid.
Yeah, so by the looks of things, it looks like, what's that, almost Hillsop is going to get the reverse top 10 pole position there, so that'd be nice for him as they come around the final corner there. A little bit of a wiggle there from Brad Cook. He's thrown in the white towel. It is going to be Joshua Holmes to take race 1 of Split Blue at Barcelona for round 5 of the OOR Sprint Series. Brad Cook finishing a close P2 with the fastest lap there. Will count for some points. Nathan Monks in 3rd. Thistlewait 4th. Taylor 5th. Sweeney in 6th, a great battle pack all around. Lele in 7th, but with that 15-second penalty hanging over his head, we'll see where he ends up come the end of this race. When all is said and done, Rondella in P7, Lewis in P9 with the penalty applied, Curtis in P10, And I believe we're going to see Hillsop, with all the penalties that have been applied, he will get the reverse top 10 pole position for race 2.
Oh, it'll be very, very tight. Very, very tight for Hislop there. We'll see, yeah, as you said, we'll see how it plays out when ACC does apply all those penalties. But with Brownette dropping down as well, it's going to be pretty tight, maybe. 11.5, 12.5. No, I think he's just going to be 11th, but more than happy to be wrong there.
He's going to get it. I think, yeah, there's a bit of a gap from Brownette to Hillsop there, so I think he is clear. So, it looks like Lele will be getting the reverse grid pole position there for race 2.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, what a race, Daniel.
Yeah, what a actually, it may not have had as much action as we normally get in these sprint series races, especially with these sprint rounds. Yep, there we go. The confirmation there. Lele does get the reverse grid pole position for race 2.
There you go.
As we can see, yeah. So yeah, Holmes taking the win there, with Cook in a close second, Monks in third. I believe they're already qualified. They're already qualifying there. I didn't catch the race results there and the class winners there, but I presume, for all I know, overall winner is obviously Holmes. Silver class winner would be Monks. There we go. Pro-Am class winner is Rondinella. Very nice. Very good friend of the stream there. So yeah, he's done very, very well. And not a big grid for the AMs there, but yeah, David Marsh I think it's David Marsh. A very, very solid P13, mixing it in very comfortably with all the Pro-Am drivers there. As we start from our positions from P11 to, well, last.
Yep, so all the drivers that didn't end up in the top 10 in race 1 will be going out in this 10-minute session here, so it'll be about 5 laps, I reckon, maybe 6, if you can sneak it in, to put in their best lap time. So pole position for this race will be P11 on the starting grid for race 2. Unfortunately, we've got a couple of the drivers that should realistically be in the top 10 out on track there. Had a couple bumps and mishaps and whatnot in race 1. One on the screen here of Mr. Bub now. So he'll be looking to put it as close to the top as he can. Looking down the field, doesn't really look like anybody's really going to be challenging him. Brownette also very quick as well, so possibly might see a bit of a battle between these two for provisional pole position. As we jump on board here with Sean for his first flying lap. As we come through Elf here, so turns 1 and 2, pretty tidy, a little bit wide, and then through Renault, very easy to get on the power, just a little bit too early, but no, does well, keeps it within track limits. Then you want to bomb it into Repsol here. McLaren will be pretty good through here, very stable on the brakes, loves the mid-corner. Mid-speed corners is what the words I was looking for there. Down into first gear, into Sayat, as we come to rise the hill. What's the corner name is Worth here for the left-right, and then up to Campsite at the top of the hill before the big run down to the hairpin. Does really nicely down in gear, probably a touch early on the throttle. Might have had to get off just a little bit there. Might have compromised his run just a touch, braking just before the 100 here into the hairpin. Goes a touch wide. Might not compromise his exit too much. It was only a little bit deeper than the apex. Then a very tricky double apex here of Bunk Sabadell. I hope I pronounced that right. As we come into Europe car and the chicane rack, RACC. Toughest corner on the track, but does well. The McLaren gets a pretty good launch out of here with that big amount of second gear torque. And once the stream unfreezes, the fastest lap 43.8, I think. 43.927, sorry. Off Jeffcoat. No, there we go. So maybe it wasn't 8. So Jeffcoat actually takes provisional pole position. Brown there 8 tenths off the pace at this point in time. So obviously not the best lap for him. Marsh comes across the line, second off the pace. Currently the leading AM. We'll see what Baker can do in the Porsche. I didn't have the strongest qualifying for race 1. So we jump on board with Crick here in the Bentley. Looks like this will be his first flying lap. See what he can do. Coming through Sayat here. Very nicely through Kamsa. Coming into the hairpin. Braking, yeah, just before the 100 board. Gets it pulled up nicely. A little bit of curb usage there for the rotation. And the Bentley is just going to absolutely rip out of the corner there. Tricky double right-hander here. Hugs it fairly tight the entire way. So we've compromised his exit just a little bit. Nicely into the right-hander, and we'll see how he goes through the chicane. Nice and early on the brakes. Nice through the first bit. Nice through the right-hander. And through the final corner. And unfortunately... Oh, no, he's back. I was going to say, I lost Daniel for a second there. That mining internet not doing him any favours here. Jeffcoat still holds on. Bubnaz just under a tenth off his time. Does take provisional pole by only about 0.04 of a second, it looks, there with a 43.8. See if Jeffcoat can respond to that. So we jump on board here with Zach Jensen, currently 7 tenths up, 1.3 seconds off the pace. This should put him into the top, into 4th, I reckon, just ahead of Saxon. We'll see how much more he can gain into this final complex here of the chicane. 9 tenths up and gaining. This is a very, very good lap. This might even put him maybe into the top 3, dare I say, but I think it might just not be enough because I think the top 3 are all in the 43s. Comes across the line. It is actually going to be P3. So Brown there unfortunately doesn't improve on his lap time on that last one, or only improves a bit, sorry, but Jensen currently provisional P3, so that will be 13th on the grid. So jump back to Hislop here in the GTR. Gaining plenty of time, 7 tenths, then 8 tenths, gaining more into the chicane. Over a second up. Oh, he loses a little bit on the exit. He's going to bleed towards the line. Or not, because he's going to gain a little bit more. He's going to stay around that 9.5 tenths mark. P4, 7 tenths off provisional pole at this point in time. The drivers will have a couple more laps, 1 or 2 more, depending on where they are on the track. As we jump on board here with Saxon, who was 5 tenths up, just loses a little bit through the sweeping right-hander coming into the chicane. It's a make or break for the lap here. Porsche never seems to really get it right. It never feels good when you come out of it, regardless of what the Delta tells you. Loses a little bit, still 3 tenths up though, providing him up to P4. Just behind Jensen there, it looks. Jump back on board with Hislop here. Oh, plenty of time. Through the first sector, 5 tenths up. Loses a little bit on the exit here. As we come through the technical, little S's I called them, little left-right, up the hill. Very easy to invalidate there. Loses a little bit, but still 5 tenths up. This is a very good lap. This will put him P3. He would pip Jensen as the lead. Well, not the lead Pro-Am, but the second Pro-Am. We'll see if there's a little bit more. We know he's got a little bit in the chicane. Didn't get it perfect last lap. Just understeer a little bit wide, got a bit of a jink on the exit. So we'll see what he can do into this final sector. A little bit of time loss through the right-hander. See what he can do through the chicane. It is going to be a gain on exit. It's going to be a gain. Oh, it's going to be a little bit lost towards the line. Still 5 tenths up though. This will put him 2 tenths off the pole lap and into P3. This will be his final lap here, and we assume majority of the drivers will be on their final lap. Anybody from Bub now back, I reckon, probably won't get another one.
Yeah, you can probably see. I think your prediction was correct there that Bob now will get the well, not so much pole position, but P11. Still, you know, on the outside looking in for the top 10. So, still a big opportunity to get some good points for this second race here.
Yeah, as he crosses the
Um,
line there, doesn't actually improve on his last lap, so it's all up to Jeffcoat here, who I believe is just in the first sector. He does have a blue dot, but ACC does tend to lie to you with, yeah, so 3 minutes 40 is probably actually a valid lap still. It's just that he's come out of the pits for this final lap, so only needs 400ths of a second to take away provisional pole from Sean Bubb now. Currently just over a tenth up at the end of the first sector. We come down into Sayat. Very, very easy to go deep here. Does well, keeps it in second gear on the power early. He's going to keep his delta. Loses just a touch, but it doesn't really mean too much. Still enough for a provisional pole here in this qualifying session, which, as Daniel said, will only be P11, but you might be able to follow some of the quicker guys that are starting towards the back of that top 10. You might be able to follow them through for a couple easy positions. As we see Hislop here, 3 tenths up. He's going to lose a little bit on the chicane, just a little bit too greedy on the throttle there, but still going to be a very, very good lap. It's going to pip Jeff Coat, maybe no 5 thousandths off of Jeff Coat's time. Stays P3, unfortunately, as we jump back on board with Jeff Coat, who has actually lost all of his delta, is currently even with his personal best. Coming into the final 2 corners, what can he do through the chicane? Only needs 400ths. It's really not that much time. He's currently... He was 9 tenths up, like 9 tenths up. He was 900ths up, and he's going to be even across the line with ACC Delta. He's probably going to lose about half a tenth. So yeah, comes across the line, 300ths down on his personal best. So Bub now holds on from both Jeffcoat and Hislop, who were both on lap times that were able to better Bub now's time, but he hangs on. And Jensen 5 tenths down here, I doubt, yeah, decides to peel off and just RTG. I don't think he was going to improve on that lap time, but there we have it. So Bub now from Jeffcoat, from Hislop are your top 3 in the second qualifying, which will start P11, 12 and 13th respectively in this second race.
yeah, well commentated there because yeah, I'm kind of having issues from my end. What's new? But yeah, Bob now, as I said before, looking outside, looking in. He's going to be looking to finish deep inside the top 10, I would say, as I believe he definitely had the pace to keep up with the guys that were in and around the top 6, well, that were fighting for the top 5, you know, around that pace. So yeah, he definitely has what it takes. I've raced him before many a times, and he's quick. There we go. I think I'm actually going to get the stream here. For some reason, it just doesn't want to play ball whenever we go into qualifying here. As yeah, everyone's looking. I still can't get over Nathan's livery. Hey, like
It's
do it
it's
for.
certainly,
I
it's a
said
future
do it
classic.
for her. Yeah, is that a cat on top? Like do it for her. Is that a cat on top of it? I don't even know. Oh,
Do it for her.
it's a little dog, cute little dog.
Yeah, so we continue with our little drone shot. Down here, we got the smokestack racing. Who is that on the side? That Kaylee Cuoco?
Something.
I think it might be. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. But no, it's not.
Hello, Coco. Isn't that the one that played Penny in Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not. I'm gonna need some hints here, unfortunately. It's Katy Perry,
Katy
really?
Perry.
There you go. I think I need the
There
dark
you
hair, which you
go.
can't really
Yeah,
tell with all the
I can
black
see
and
it.
white.
I can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm.
As we fly off into the distance and jump back. So 30 seconds. This session looks even sunnier than the previous one. So that is 6 from 6 with no rain. So it looks like Split Red's going to be flooded at this rate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they'll be hoping to get the oars out because yeah, it's going to be an absolute. I think it's going to be an absolute monsoon. Then, if that's the case, that's what we've seen before, definitely. As they're just about to get the green light from the officials to start their formation lap. Of course, reverse top 10. So we see the guy who placed P10. That was Lele coming off the pole position. And who was that? Was that Sweeney as well for P2? I can't remember.
I think that was
My memory's
between
that bad,
Curtis.
eh? Curtis, okay.
I think that's the purple Mustang that did peel off for second position. It's going to be very interesting, I reckon, here with Lele. Didn't have the race pace that I was expecting him to have in the first race, so it'll be interesting to see if he pulls away or so he gets swamped a little bit, leading the pack away. I know the Aston's not the greatest on the launch either, and the Mustang obviously an absolute joke in a straight line. So we'll see how this race unfolds as the remainder of the grid here peels off behind the top 10.
I'll tell you what, that Mustang of Nathan Monk's, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did on that race start for race one, but he made so many positions off there. I think he went from sixth to third in one lap. So, yeah, he had that thing singing on the first lap. So, might be able to see with, the drivers that have placed lower than him, he might be able to pick off a few more.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see, especially being caught behind. I think in that previous race he did just chew through the tyres a little bit. That's why he dropped off those top three with about 12, 15 minutes. Oh, wow. The Mustang in the background, they're going for moves already. But yeah, I think Monks cooked the rears just a little bit, and that's why he dropped off the back of the top three after being right there with them for the first half of the race. So possibly staying a little bit further back down the field might help him not be able to push as hard and keep those tires less cooked for a touch longer. And maybe we'll see him spring to life a little bit more at the end of the race. But what do you reckon, Daniel? Go absolutely as hard as you can for the start, or do you save your tires just a little bit for a bit of a burst at the end?
Oh, I reckon that's the way to go. Like just saving your tires initially at the start, trying to pick up a slipstream from the guy in front, and yeah, that would probably be the tactic to go with, I'd say. And then yeah, just have a good burn at the end. You want to take the race start? My stream's still being a bit choppy.
Yeah,
Damn you, crap internet.
Uh, that is quite alright. I will be more than happy to commentate this one. I'll try not to curse it this time around, but no promises, unfortunately. As we come through the final corner, Lele leads us away from Curtis. Lewis and Rondinella round out the second row of the grid. It is going to be a little bit later because the game still thinks that P11 is technically the leader. So it's going to be a touch later than we're expecting. We're on board here with Chris Taylor, the Honda, an absolute beast on the off the start. So yep, gets the jump immediately onto the inside of the McLaren of Steve Lewis. They are going to go three wide in that second row. What's Chris Taylor going to be able to do here? Lele is going to hold on from Curtis possibly, unless he tries going around the outside, as we see the field expand as they do and then contract back into turn 1 and 2. It's looking pretty good so far. A bit of argy-bargy, unfortunately. Three wide, 3 into 1 doesn't go well. Kuhn collects, I believe that might be Zach Jensen in the purple McLaren at the back there, unfortunately, or maybe that was David Marsh. I couldn't quite tell. Lele, I think, has held on to the lead at this point. Yep, looks like they're almost back into single file as we see more carnage in the background there. There's a GTR. Oh my goodness, this might be a safety car. That is a big incident coming into Repsol. Yep, all the cars have slowed down. That is going to be a safety car. Oh, I think we're going to need some replays of that. I'm out of breath just trying to keep up with everything that happened there. Far out. Yep,
and my stream's still not being. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting getting the playback from you, it sounds like, yeah, there's just a absolute calamity off the start. Well, I mean, around the rear of the pack, and then coming into Repsol, there looked to have been just a huge coming together from some of the guys in the mid pack there, and it's just created a huge gap between the top, I'd say the top 11, top
Oh.
12 runners.
Yeah, as we were
Yeah, as
back
we
on
see
board
there.
for a replay here, yeah, of turn one. So 3 into 1 just unfortunately didn't work. It looked like Crick didn't really have anywhere to go. Gave the McLaren there a bit of a hip and shoulder into the McLaren on the outside, who spun around, and unfortunately Tim Kung in the purple Porsche at the end unfortunately collected him. And then we should be able to get a replay of the incident into turn 4,
Yeah,
which is the big one.
definitely these race starts are a bit definitely these race starts can be a bit
Oh
of a
no.
lottery at times, and
Oh no. Oh no.
oh,
So it looked like Brownout unfortunately tagged the rear of the GTR, who spun around. Cars going around to avoid them got together. Then they just blocked the inside of the track, and the couple cars behind collected them. And yeah, that's how to call a safety car 101. Unfortunately, there for Split Blue. So it looks like Brownout has RTG'd. That is 26 also in the pit. So Frustook, unfortunately, in that Ricky Bobby liveried Mustang, wasn't able to shake and bake on this occasion, and is unfortunately having to repair some damage. I believe they will probably be going green at the end of this lap, so we'll see if Lele can get the jump here on Curtis. Taylor up into P3 already, technically has the fastest lap as well, albeit they did slow down at the end of, midway through Sector 2.
that's
So
all right. You take them as you can, honestly. So yeah, he'll be waving the fastest lap flag for at least another lap, you'd say. 'Cause,
yeah,
yeah,
I
they're gonna
think
have to. Everyone's on their pit limiters, I believe.
I think they'll be holding about 120 until the race director lets them know, or
Holding
lets
100,
Lele
holding 120. Yeah.
or thereabouts. Yeah. Um, looks like they're slowing down once again. So it looks like they'll be going green probably from now. I believe Lele will be given command over the field, and he can go whenever he feels like it. Which doesn't look like he's gone just yet. You want to go realistically, you want to go on the apex, or you want to get the bloke behind you just to brake. So yeah, safety car coming in this lap. So Lele will be handed the field, and he will be able to go any time that he likes, but no overtaking before the start-finish line. I reckon he'll go on the apex of the right-hander of the chicane, and yep, he's off. Gets the jump on Curtis. Oh, the Mustang. Oh, the TC must have kicked in hard there. That is a mega jump from Lele. Pulls basically what looks like almost a second off the start. It's Rondinella here in P4, just behind Cook. Cook, Taylor far out. Not having a good one tonight. Taylor as Holmes very, very tight there with Lewis. Tries going for the inside. Lewis does really well to hold it on the outside there, and he's got an Angry Monks just behind as well. So Steve Lewis probably a little bit of a cork in the bottle here, but has no obligations to let these guys through. They're going to have to absolutely work for it. As I say that, Josh Holmes immediately looks for the move, does get the inside, but because the corner opens so much, you can get on the power early. It's almost advantageous to be on the outside there, not to mention does switch to the inside here. So Holmes is going to look for the switchback, which he might just have the overlap. No, Steve Lewis manages to get the drive out of the corner. Holmes all over the back of Lewis here, looking left and right and everywhere in the mirrors just to force that error. Big braking zone coming up here. This is really what separates the men from the boys. So we'll see what he can do here. Bentley pretty good on the brakes as well, especially compared to the McLaren. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something here as Taylor looks into the mirrors again of Curtis, who does actually, unfortunately, falls for the bait and does go a little bit wide. Taylor's going to go side by side. I don't think he's got the move done just yet. Lewis holds on again for another corner, and we can see the DRS train forming just behind with those front runners. As we jump to our two cameras, We got Chris Taylor pestering the back of the GTR, the Mustang of Ben Curtis as we come through the final corner, and then Holmes just behind Lewis as well, just a little bit further back. The fastest lap goes to somebody. Look, goes to Lele. Unfortunately, we're not able to see what that is at this point in time. Let's see what the Bentley can do on the straight. He's going to pull out. Oh, the overdrive that Holmes has is crazy. He's going to have the move done basically before braking into turn 1, and that's as easy as you like for Holmes. Up into P6. A couple more drivers to go. See, Lele has absolutely ran away with this. 2.1 seconds the gap after 1 and a bit laps from Curtis. Taylor still just has to tuck in behind Curtis. Hasn't made a mistake just yet. And Rondinella there just lurking between the two packs here. Waiting for maybe a little bit of a mistake that he can capitalize on, or maybe he's just trying to follow Taylor through.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this race unfolds here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the stream up, so I'm literally just going off of what you're saying, Breno, there. But yeah, it's but if Lele can keep this pace going, I mean, the sky's the limit for him, really. You know, P might be able to just get a lights to flag victory here, but yeah, we'll have to see what Joshua Holmes and Brad Cook will have to say about that. Obviously, the two pace setters in race 1, even behind Lele as well. When with Curtis as well, when that Mustang really gets going, it can become a very capable car to chase down that Aston. I believe Lele's in the Aston, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see anything at the moment, so I'm just going off of memory. But yeah. So roughly about 23 minutes to go or something like that, or 22 minutes to go, whatever it is. Lele, yeah, whatever it is, Lele in P1 there, and yeah, I presume that he's setting a pretty ripping pace, or
Yeah, currently just under 3 seconds ahead of Curtis as Taylor goes quite wide there, coming into Repsol. So Lele has to absolutely capitalize as much as he can on Curtis being a bit of the cork in the bottle here. And the fast guys, like Cook is stuck behind Monks, it seems, just a little bit. So possibly got a little bit boxed in on the start there, because I believe he would have started ahead of Monks. No, he wouldn't have actually. No, sorry, Monks was P3, Cook was second. So Holmes has had an absolute mega start to be all the way up into P5. Actually just goes around the outside of Rondinella, if you don't mind, up into P4, and he is going to be on an absolute charge to catch these guys ahead as we go 2 wide for 2 rows into the hairpin. Everybody comes out pretty nicely. There's a bit of argy-bargy between Rondinella and Steve Lewis for the for P2 in Pro-Am class here. Steve Lewis on the outside into one of the trickiest corners on the track. He's gonna do it. They're gonna check up behind Rondinella. It's still side by side. Oh my goodness, the concertina effect is crazy behind. Cook almost goes into the back. Lele sets the fastest lap again with a 44.2. I reckon Holmes might be able to beat this. Maybe not this lap, unfortunately, but he definitely has quicker pace than that. I think a 43.7 or thereabouts was the fastest lap for the previous race. So it will be interesting to see.
Well, this is what these reverse grids really do. Almost 3 wide going
Cook's
into turn 1.
Gone.
Sorry there, Breno. That was a huge effort into turn 1 there, and Cook is gone.
Yeah.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he got Kunos.
I can't see him on my screen anymore. It's
he's
real choppy there, but yeah, he is.
So we'll jump back for a replay here. So Cook goes for the move on Rondinella, and
just been a...
yeah,
it was 3 wide going into turn 1 there. As you can see, Cook just absolute has a spin there, and I think he just says, "I'm out." And yeah, that's all she wrote for Brad Cook. Unfortunately, he's doing so well going through. Actually, no, Brad Cook has gone back onto the track, but now in P18. So yeah, just gonna have to be a recovery drive from here on out, unfortunately, or another safety car possibly, if anything drastic happens here, as Joshua Holmes makes a big statement up the inside of Curtis there. Easy as you like. And yeah, Holmes is really turning on the pace here. He showed a lot of pace in race 1 and, well, race 2. He's absolutely carved his way through the field. And in just under 7 minutes here, so we take a look at a replay here of that pass that was made on... No, not a pass, maybe a pass. Here we go. Oh, big, little bit wide there for what was that? Curtis on.
Yeah, Curtis in the purple Mustang.
You have to take it. You have to take it away from me.
That's all right. I think Taylor got past on Curtis and Holmes said thank you very much as well, and he's got past. So Taylor and Holmes, I reckon, are going to be a pretty spicy battle. Striking distance, as the F1 streams say, probably 2 laps, I reckon. Currently the gap between them about a second, 3.8 or thereabouts to Lele ahead. So Holmes about 5 seconds behind the win at this point, but Lele is, you know, he's got to catch the gap. It's one thing to catch the gap, it's another to overtake, and he's got Taylor as well, who's not going to give it up easily, I don't think. Monks, we're on board with here, down in P7, currently fighting for not only the Silver Championship, but actually the overall championship. Lele not having the best round in race 1, so he extended his championship lead just a touch there, but now Lele is P1 and he's P7, so the tides are going to change just a little bit here. Assuming Monks stays about this position, but knowing his pace, I reckon he'll gain a position or 2. Curtis, Lewis and Rondinella, 3 Pro-Ams ahead. Definitely has the pace advantage on these guys, but as I said, it's one thing to catch them, it's another thing to pass.
Yeah, exactly, especially at a track like Barcelona here. Very, very difficult to pass, but I mean, you can see, really it's not, like, as we've seen in the first few laps here, there's been passes left, right and center, but let's just say, like, midway through the race and towards the end of the race, you really, really don't see that many, like, big overtakes with when there's a clear discrepancy in pace, unless they have been saving tires, like Joshua Holmes, my bad, on Brad Cook there in the last race there. So yeah, you really have to be tactical with where you use the tire. As we see the back end of Steve Lewis there, we have Rondinella just waiting in the wings for a chance to pounce. Nathan Monks is not too far behind either. See how that plays out.
Yeah, it will be good to see. So Taylor actually set the fastest lap of the race of 43.8 on that previous lap. The gap, I think, is down more so to 3.7. There we go. The timing totem updates to Lele. So about 0.3 change in gap from last lap. And obviously Holmes isn't going to be too far behind. That gap between the two actually hasn't changed a whole lot between them. So still 1.1 seconds or thereabouts between Holmes and Taylor. So it's going to be a big ask for Holmes to get past Taylor, but I think they're going to catch Lele as we approach about the halfway mark of this second race here. As it looks like we might just
send for the mid-race report there. So you see that. There we go. Yeah, so we go for the mid-race report there. Holmes with another fastest lap there. I think it was a 43.7. Stream's just decided to not work on my phone again, but we press on. But yeah, definitely closing down the... Sorry?
Oh, I just said they thistle away a little bit wide there, but Monks goes around the outside of Rondinella in the turn 1-2 complex, and he's now up into P6, looking to hunt down Lewis and get past as fast as he can.
Oh, absolutely brilliant move there from Monks there. Really, really underrated move going around the outside at Catalunya. Like, it can really work since this track. Hang on.
10-second penalty for Nathan Monks causing a collision on lap 6. So if we're able to get a replay of that, I don't think we caught that one on the stream. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works. At these current gaps, that's going to drop him almost down to P13. That is, yeah, that's a big spanner in the works for the current Silver Championship lead driver.
And championship driver, championship leader as well. So big championship implications in race 2 here. Nathan Monks is really, really going to have to put the afterburners on and get as much of a gap as he can to the cars behind. And if that means having to go through a bunch of cars and bunch of slightly slower cars in front, then he'll have to
Really?
by all means get through the pack.
Yeah, so we just had a replay there of that was the contact with Brad Cook. The stewards have decided that was actually Monk's fault. That's an interesting call is all I'm going to say. Obviously, I don't have all the angles that the stewards do, but yeah, he's just going to have to push on here. And as you said, he's going to have to, you know, install those turbochargers and go like a bat from hell.
Yeah.
And see if he can nullify that penalty as much as he can, especially with the Silver Championship hanging in the balance with only one round to go, realistically, after this race is done.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a mega points haul for Joshua Holmes here. So, yeah, it's probably safe to say he's going to kiss his championship lead goodbye, especially with, you know, how that 10-second penalty hanging over his head like a dark cloud. But yeah, Joshua Holmes seeing that penalty has just gone, yippee! I've been given a get out of jail free card right now, so he can probably cruise to a podium. But we all know Joshua just wants that win.
Oh, 100%. You're not happy with the podium if you know you can get P1. So gap stabilized a little bit, still 3.7 seconds or thereabouts between Taylor and Lele. So we're coming into the last third of the race here. Holmes 7/10 to Taylor, so Holmes is actually catching Taylor quicker than Taylor's catching Lele. So this could be really, really interesting in these last 10 minutes of the race.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the ideal situation would be to have all three drivers kind of in between each other, all sandwiched up together. But just have a feeling that Holmes is gonna get around Taylor, and then Holmes is possibly going to drag Taylor into Lele there, and hopefully Holmes is just thinking, hopefully I don't get held up behind Lele too much, because then Taylor might have a bit of a strike there, and then we'll have a proper three-way battle. We will see.
Yep. As we see Monks, I think, actually carbon copy of his move on Rondinella a couple laps ago, jumps up into P5, gets past Steve Lewis. I think it was again around the outside at turn 1. I think we just caught the end of that on the stream. But yeah, up into P5 for Monks, 1.6 behind Curtis. Equal machinery between those two, the 83 and the 81, both in the Mustang. It's always a little bit harder to pass a person in the same car as you, because they got the same strengths, same weaknesses at the track. So see what happens. It'll be a couple laps, I reckon, before he catches Curtis, and then we'll see how they go. No overlap into turn 1, I don't think, with the cars having equal pace down the straight.
Yeah, 100%. It's you know, you gotta know your car's strengths and all that. And I mean, I'm guessing there was a bit of a 2x2 action there.
Oh no, Rondinella just getting a little bit sideways, coming out of Bunk Sabadell. So the sweeping right-hander, the double apex right-hander. Those tyres not seeming too good on his car. He has been sliding quite a bit, maybe just going a bit too hot into the corners, and sort of has to, you know, scrub off the speed with a bit of style. So we jump back on board here with Cam Thistleway, who's looking for the move on Steve Lewis. Has the run. It's going to be a difficult one into turn 1. They do make contact. Thistleway is going to remain where he was. In fact, he might actually lose the position to Jeffcoat. No, he just slots in between the two. A very aggressive move from Thistleway there, going all the way to the inside. We saw something very similar to this between, I believe it was Cruz and Kafil Slade last night in Split Yellow. We'll see what the stewards reckon about that one there. But unfortunately for now, Thistlewhite is going to have to slot back in behind Steve Lewis and then look for another opportunity to get past.
Yeah, I reckon it might be smart just to hang in behind, wait for the right time to pounce. Because if you just go for a big send, you know, you're not only going to be slowing yourself up to you might not get that move done, but you're also going to be slowing up the car that's in front of them, and also creating pressure from behind. So just really need to pick your moment, especially at a track like this. You know, even going around the outside, getting a good run out of the final corner, going into the pit straight, getting a good run, kind of faking to the right, and just taking the racing line going on the outside, and just hanging it tough around the outside to get to that left-hander, as we saw in race one for ultimately the pass for the lead.
Yeah, as we jump on board here.
As we see there, speaking of Joshua Holmes, we're just attached to the back, or to the very front bumper of his Bentley, and yeah, it's just absolutely terrorizing the back of this of Taylor's Honda here. Is looking very nervous indeed.
So just on the back, we're jumped on board of the rear wing of Cam Thistlewhite here. So this is a replay of what's happened behind. So this is Rondinella and Curtis, or is this live? No, this is live pictures. That is my bad, unfortunately. So we are live here. So Thistlewhite hasn't been able to make a move in the first sector on Steve Lewis. In fact, the gap really hasn't come down too much. Still hovering about that 5 tenths range at this point in time, but also about that 4 or 5 tenths is the gap between Holmes and Taylor. So he's closed up to the rear of Taylor, who is also closed up to the rear of Lele. So I'm not sure what Lele's doing on the tyres, because the Aston's usually pretty good, but that gap is now down to 2.7 seconds. It was 3.5 not more than 2 laps ago. As there is whoa! Jeffco just completely misses his braking point. He gets ever so close to the back of Thistlewhite there. Almost takes him out coming into turn 1. That would have been absolute catastrophe for the Bentley driver. But fortunately, he does get away with it. And Jeffco, I don't think, loses too much out of it either. Maybe a position or two, but no damage and no invoice coming his way.
It's a very feisty battle here for P6, and possibly this could be bragging rights to P5, depending on how the pace goes. We see a brilliant move round the outside there for Thistlewhite there. We're going to have to get a replay there. That is textbook what I was talking about before. Beautifully just sweeps it round the outside, gets that advantageous corner to the immediate left, and then just absolutely, takes charge of the corner, you could say. We take a look at the replay here. I mean, this is just textbook here. Look at that.
Absolutely.
Even near the apex of turn 1, Thistlewhite was already ahead of Lewis there. So brilliant driving, and lost very, very, very little time with that battle there. And he's up into P6, and, well, he's breathing down the neck of P5 right now. Well, P4, you should say, with the penalty that's going to be applied to Mux. So this is going to turn out to be a very good points day for Thistlewhite.
Yeah, definitely. But also looking up the front, Taylor now 2.3 behind Lele. So we'll see how this develops, because the time is ticking. It's running out. But 2.1 seconds, it is going to be a very, very tight battle, I reckon, for the last 2 laps between these top 3. We've also got Noski, who is Sean Bubnow in the chat, that says nothing like, the joys of your cables getting lodged under your pedals. So unfortunately, I did notice he had returned to pits, so I thought maybe there was something a little bit untoward there. So now we know what's happened there. So it looks like his brake pedal or accelerator's got caught on something, and yeah, obviously when you hold the accelerator or the brake for too long, chaos ensues usually, so that's a bit unfortunate for Noski. He has had one of the most unluckiest seasons I think I've ever seen a driver have in the couple seasons I've been here at Octane.
Yeah, 100%. It's yeah, it can be a bit cruel here as we take a look at a replay on. I presume this is for Bob. Bob now.
Oh, yep. So yeah, it looks like they got caught on the accelerator pedal. And he's doing really well to oh, there we go. You can see the car wanted to move. Oh, there we go. Full throttle in reverse. He's done really, really well to not collect anybody there. Props.
Yeah.
Yeah, props to Sean.
Oh.
He's still going. Oh man. As Rondinelli gets a drive
he's
through.
just got him parked off the side.
Rondinelli's got a drive through. That must be for
a big
track
drive through. I'm guessing for track cuts. Have to be for track
Yeah.
cuts because yeah, I haven't seen any big incidents from Rondinella there. So yeah, huge
That's stiff.
huge penalty there. That's really stiff. And with only 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go, you'll be hard pressed to get a drive through sorted now. So I wonder if he'll just take the was it 30 or 30-second penalty or 45-second penalty. I'm not too sure.
Depending on when he got it in that lap, he might actually have to serve it because there will be one more lap after this one. So looks like we've jumped on board for a replay here. This is where our lovely broadcaster, Mr. Benjamin Hignett, reckons he's got the track limits. Maybe, possibly.
That would
seem pretty
possibly there. Like that would have been. Yeah, that seemed very legal. So yeah, may have just been a bit hard done by with track limits here. So but you know, these things happen, and you just gotta. Oh, we've got another replay here, possibly.
It's gonna be a big drift. No.
Just trying to guess where Jaden had his track cut, had his drive through.
Yeah, I think we'd have to go check on his stream. I don't think it's almost impossible to tell where people get them when you look on the replay. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. And we do have confirmation in the chat that Split Red is wet. So the weather has saved its best for last. 6 dry races, and now Split Red is it's going to be nice and moist.
Ah yes, we love that word around here, moist. So I think there's going to be 1 lap to go after this. But
this way gets drive through as well. Oh no! This way gets a drive through as well. It has to be on the exit of the chicane.
Track cuts. Yeah. Oh my god! Just when I was saying what a good points day he was having, just absolutely, right at the last minute too, right at the last lap.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Absolute wretched luck there from Decisive. That's going to drop him right down the order. And definitely out of championship contention now, but he still has that drop round. I think he's run in every single race thus far this season, so could definitely use this as a drop round. And coming into the final round of the season, can you believe it's already the final round of the season for this sprint series? So the season has come by very quick.
Yeah, I know Mr. Thistleway is very strong at Paul Ricard, so I wouldn't count him out to be a bit of a dark horse coming into the final round. But yeah, Taylor, less than 2 seconds behind Lele now. It's going to be a little bit of too little, too late. Holmes probably going to try for something here, maybe into the chicane, or he's happy with his P3 and fastest lap points. But it looks like Lele is going to hold on after all that to take the victory here in race 2. That's going to do wonders for his championship battle. Comes through to take P1. Not far behind is Taylor and Holmes, who round out the podium there. Monks is going to come through on track to take P4, but that is going to drop him back. That 10-second penalty, he's going to drop him back just a couple positions. The drive-throughs behind are definitely going to help with that, so he won't drop as far back as he otherwise would. but it's going to be pretty far. I think it's going to be down behind Jeffcoat, and Jeffcoat will gain a position or two. So just on the verge of the top 10. So I think Lele and Monks, after all that, are going to score about the same amount of points.
Yeah, 100%. And Monk's still keeping his championship chances alive coming into the final round. It's definitely not impossible, but you feel that Joshua Holmes definitely has the run of momentum coming into the last round, which might have to help me out here. I'm not sure where that would be, but yeah, with
Heading
that
off
championship
to,
lead, all the foremen, sorry.
we're heading off to France at the awful track that is Paul Ricard.
That is Paul Ricard.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we'll have to see what chat thinks about your of your hot take there. So as we have yeah, with Silver once again taking the win for Split Blue here, like with Lele coming first there, Taylor second, Holmes very good points day. First in race one and a third in race two. Nice collection of trophies. Nice little pair of trophies to take home for him. Curtis in fourth, Lewis in fifth. Let's see how far Monks is down in P8. So not that bad of a result. Still not great, but could have been way worse. As we can see down the order there with those two drive-throughs, Thistlethwaite and Rondinella, P17 and
Oh,
P18.
that's
That is
stiff.
that is very brutal. Right in behind the likes of Crick and Hillsop there. So definitely put them on the back foot there. Bob now a notable DNF there. Unfortunately, coming off of P11 and having a decent race. Brownout also a notable DNF as well. And that pretty much it'll be all she wrote for Slip Blue, I reckon.
Yeah. Who's your driver of the day, Daniel?
I mean, it's really it's tough to give, but I think for that move around the outside, at race one for the lead, I think it'd have to be Joshua Holmes. And plus that drive back through the field, I reckon give it a few more, give it like maybe another 5 minutes, and he would have had this one in the bag as well. So yeah, Joshua Holmes had the pace when he was near the front, and he had the pace when he was buried in the pack just slightly in P10, starting off P10.
Yeah.
What do you
Fair.
reckon?
Oh, I think I'd give mine to Ben Curtis. Held on to P4 there to take out the Pro-Am win in race two. Notable mention as well, Brad Cook. So down to P18 after a bit of a coming together with Monks. Recovers all the way back up to P10. So I think that's a valiant effort. But I think Ben Curtis is going to take my driver of the day for this round.
Yeah, he's definitely driven very well and made that Mustang very wide and taken his opportunities when it has presented to him. So yeah, done a splendid job. And notable other drivers as well. They've had good moves around the outside. I mean, that move for Thistlethwaite around the outside on I think it on Curtis actually. So yeah, driver of the day, but unfortunately he was victim to a really good send round the outside of turn one there. But you know he kept it in between the white lines, and that's really what mattered in the end, as a lot of his other competitors had fallen by the wayside with track limits.
Anyway, stick around, everybody in the chat. We've got Split Red coming up almost immediately, I reckon, as the stream will tick over in just a sec, and it is bloody wet for those poor buggers in Split Red. We'll hand you over to the very capable hands of Austin McNeil and none other than Sean Muller to take it away for Split Red. But thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully Me and Daniel not talking over each other wasn't too bad, but thank you for joining me, Daniel. We made do with your unfortunate poor internet, but I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, did what I could, being in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to get back into the commentary box, and hopefully I can just fill in where I can. Hopefully, back at home, and when my schedules actually meet up nicely, and I'm in front of a proper mic instead of just an earbud microphone. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll pass on to Split Red. Thanks for having me.
Thank you to the one and only Breno and Daniel there. And hola, everyone. Welcome to the Simrigs.com Sprint Series from the wonderful Barcelona. And I am Sean Muller, of course, and joining me in the box for the first time, we've never actually come together, I'm looking forward to this, is the one and only Austin McNeil. How are you, Austin?
Good evening. I am doing very well. I am very excited for Split Red. They always produce content, but now there is rain, and I was so hopeful that one of the races this week would be wet. So hopefully the race is also wet, but at least we get a wet quality, and that's better than nothing.
Exactly right. And being Split Red as well, I think it's right. These are, some big names in this one, some higher skilled operators, so I reckon we should see some quality action in this quality session as we are looking at the one and only Lucas Keys, who is, of course, running second in the championship at the moment, and he has switched cars across to the Aston Martin, so good to see. That is a interesting livery, I will say that.
Yeah, I'll have to get a bit of a closer look at it. What's that? No Man's Sky livery. Fair enough. All right. That is an interesting livery. It's honestly a good game nowadays. If any of you still think of it from when it launched, it's definitely not like that anymore. So, but yeah, also a pretty good pick to come in the Aston, particularly if it's gonna be wet, because this thing's a bit of a monster when it gets into these slippery conditions. So should see some rapid times from Keys, and more so than usual.
Yeah, exactly. Good evening, chat. Hope you chat is all well, and of course, a special good evening to the one and only my sim mum, Jan Tully. Hope you are well. Just before we do get into quality as well, as we are looking at Lucas Keys, he's 0.3 up on his best lap. We've only got 17 seconds in quality, so we'll cover quality off. Then we've got a few little housekeeping items to get around. We're looking at Shady Samuel here, who had a pretty good race last round. I thought was quite strong. I'm expecting a strong showing tonight also from Shady. I think he's coming on strong towards the back end of the season. So a quick championship update. It is Rahali leading the way after his win last week, as we've got cars coming across the line everywhere here at the moment. Let's keep an eye on this, because it is the one and only JP Sonikas in the beautiful pink Ferrari. He's got a bit of a slipstream here, but he's lost a lot of time in that last turn. That last turn at New Holland is an absolute brutal turn. Really does affect you quite a lot as cars are stopped. That's a weird spot. As Lucas Keys does pop in the fast lap, and we'll start from pole for race one.
Yeah, it looked like Peach just got held up right at the very end there. He came into this last sector about 5/10 up, and then just unfortunate, caught someone else on their hot lap and couldn't do much about it. So unlucky there, but clearly has a bit more pace in him. As we're watching here with Rashuti, who is 6/10 up on his lap in the Ferrari. That should get him a few spots higher, at least within a second of P1. So we'll have to see how he finishes this lap off, as he gains up to nearly a second through there. Bit of time loss on exit as we come through this tricky left-right. I'm sure this is very slippery in the wet. See how much time he's got to gain in these last couple of corners.
Rashuti in the Ferrari. So he's back in an Italian car, which is great to see as he comes through New Holland and the stupid chicane. This is easily the worst part of the track. And then it flows beautifully through this last turn. He's still 0.7 up on his lap, so this is definitely going to move him up the leaderboard. How far up, we don't know just yet. I reckon about second. Oh, Rashuti out of nowhere.
Absolutely huge lap there. I think he really sort of... Oh, it's dry. Come on. Oh, well. He really seemed to pounce on the opportunity of a couple people not quite getting in the proper lap at the end of the session there, and really jumped in and got himself in the front row. So good work from Rashuti, put in the lap when it mattered. Although, not going to lie, it's strange to not see him in an Italian flag Lamborghini.
Yeah, agree. I saw him, I think it was a BMW I saw him drive as well. I was like, what is Stefano doing? So it is Lucas Keys who is going to start off pole. The big news out of quality there I just saw is the Rahali's down in 10th position, and he is our championship leader at the moment. So he's got a bit of work to do, right? And he's got to come through some very quick operators. Look at it there. It's Shady Samuel. There's Jeppy. And then one of the Fruit Bowl entries then is Joshua Struik. Then we've got a beautiful Porsche that's blinking. That's never a good sign. Hopefully that all sort of sorts itself out. Oh, it's a bit. Oh, no, it's there. Okay, I think it's sorted itself out. We're okay. Nope, maybe. There is our championship leader in the orange and black BMW. Drove beautifully last round. Really impressive. So hopefully you can keep that up. So a couple of little housekeeping items just while we are rolling through the grid there. So first of all, I just want to say a massive sort of good luck to everyone in Queensland and far north New South Wales. You know, we're all thinking of you. Stay safe out there, everyone, please. And if you are told to go, just bloody go. No hero stuff. So we want to see you all back and on the racetrack as soon as possible. This is also going to be, we've basically got our last round next week at Dick Paul, or Paul Ricard, as we call it. And then we're going to have 1 week break, and then we are literally back after 1 week. Season 21 of Sprint, Season 18 of the Academy Series, and Season 5 of Club 50. So make sure you are across all Discord and that as well. All that information will be posted as per normal. And there will be some changes to the Discord as well and the way things sort of look and everything like that. So exciting times here at OLR. It's always good. We're always evolving, and which is great to see. But I'm really keen to get racing. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this race. The track is at least green, so at least it's not some sort of perfect conditions for these guys. We'll see how quickly that changes as they rubber in, and it's getting, looking at the weather, it's getting cloudy and 30, so I'll have my fingers crossed for race 2. We'll see what happens, but regardless, this race 1 should be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what Rahali's going to do from P10. I mean, if you wanted to stretch, maybe this is tactical, going for that reverse grid pole. Who knows?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's risky though, because you know that 10th sort of down to 15th, 20th is like it's the soup, as we like to call it. Really can get yourself on a few incidents down there. So hopefully Rahali can get a nice clean start, start really trucking through the field. But it is going to be the one and only Lucas Keys. It is going to start from pole. The kid, he's done it again. And his lap was actually 0.7 quicker than everyone else. So he smashed quality. Rashudi, Samuel, Sanikas, Johnson, Struik, Warren, Salvaggio, and Kay Johnson, aka Carlos, are your top 10. As they do head around this fantastic circuit, 4.6 kilometres, real classic style circuit as well. I'm a big fan of Barcelona, always have been. I think it's a beautiful GT3 track. It's a great bike track as well. Not so much for Formula One these days, but it's still, yeah, it's a real old school side of track as well. So yeah, big fan of Barcelona, and always produces a pretty good race as well.
Yeah, I also enjoy the track, although I do think if we could get the modern version without the final chicane, it would be a little bit better. But yeah, it just seems to, it just produces some real solid racing. It is a bit tricky to overtake, but it's certainly not impossible. So if you focus on your exits out here, there's a couple of decent spots where you can really get it done. As we saw a couple of people with attempts into T1 last race, some working, some not. But yeah, it can lead them to some real good moves. As we're coming down the back straight here, I'm sure they'll move into their double file soon as we're looking to get this race underway.
Head through Lucaxia now. Really tricky corner. Just, you've got to brake so deep and carry a lot of speed to the apex. So normally see a little bit of action down there as well, especially on the first lap. They tend to fan out 2 or 3 wide. So a bit of a hot spot. Turn 1's a bit of a hot spot as well, and definitely I call it turn 3, really. It's turn 4 technically, but it's turn 3 for me. That's always a bit of a hotspot as they do line up double fire now. So they come through the chicane. Round 5 of 6. Split red, Simrigs.com Sprint Series, live from Barcelona. And it's going to be Lucas Keys that will take control of the field. Stefano Rasciuti there in second. Samuel Sonikas, Johnson, Struik, Warren, Salvaggio, Rahali, and Johnson are your 10. And it is a long drag down to the control line. But we are about to go green, and we are racing as they fan out straight away. 3 wide, they head down to turn 1. Lucas has got a great start. Shady Samuel there on the inside. They're going to go 4 wide if you don't mind. 5 wide. Oh, crazy stuff in the background. Do they all get through turn 1 cleanly? That is the key. Looks like everyone's giving everyone nice racing room. Fantastic start from Red. That is brilliant stuff. Rahali there. Moved up a couple of spots, up to 9th. You did start 10th, though. So hopefully he can just keep trucking forward. Lucas Keys, though, leading the way. Shady Samuel, they're looking really racy. Looking back here at Rahali, who's moved up to 7th, and now he's starting to get the skates on. They plunge down now, down the hill. Important to carry a lot of speed. Then they're going to flick it up the hill and head towards this really tricky chicane. It's also known as Worth. Really important to get absolutely great exit out. Oh, we're in the background. There we go. I thought just a couple of little dramas there. A little bit of touchy. As we're looking here at Carlos. Currently in 10th position, doing really well. As they come through the best corner on the track, the one and only Campsa. And then head down into Locaxia. Nice late braking, really important here. Back towards the back of the field here. We're going to go 3 wide. That normally doesn't work too well, but they've actually sorted that out quite well. So that's Scotty Rochford we're looking at the moment with Pete Viney. A little bit of Kovacs on Kovacs. And Petey Chalmers is there as well. So big Kovacs action in the background here. Of course, Scotty Rochford did switch across to the Nissan. That's a Honda, you idiot, in the last round. So just getting used to that car. Actually, I think he's drove the Honda all season, if my memory serves me correct. But it is Lucas Keys that will lead lap 1, and we have got a 30-minute race ahead of us. Ooh, look on the radar there, Austin.
Yeah, I noticed that as they were coming around the final corner on their formation lap. There is rain in 30. So obviously that won't affect this race, sadly. But we'll see what that holds for the future races. So something for the drivers to look forward to. But yeah, great call there, Sean. That was some great racing from Split Red there. Getting through T1, 2, and 3 pretty cleanly. A little bit of a bump at T4. But honest, they've got to expect these kind of things. As we see Ralahi trying to make a move up the inside there. That looked a bit sketchy for a second, but all good. We've got plenty of space here. As I'm, where is he at the moment? He's up to P7, so yeah, bunch of spots already. He's making moves.
Definitely, and it's what he needs to do to keep this championship lead. Really got to make position. So we will also do a little bit of bubble watch. So it is Gobby at the moment who is on the bubble. He's currently in 10th in the big Ford. So, and he's got Robbie Underwood right behind him as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's always interesting to see, especially in these 2 30-minute races, of course, with the reverse grid, who is going to get the lucky dog, as we'll call it, in the 10th position. So we're looking at Salvaggio here, who's had a fantastic season. Currently leading Pro-Am and in the top 6 overall as well. He's had a brilliant season. Enjoy that Pro-Am badge, Salvaggio, because I reckon that is turning silver very soon. Got ourselves a bit of a replay here. This normally only ends one way. That is, wow, that was, yeah, okay. You can't be doing that. Sorry. That is sending it from nowhere. That will come with an invoice.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. I think just was focused on the car in front of him too much. I'm not sure. The brake marker for that corner is pretty tricky, but you've missed it by quite a mile there. So unfortunate there. Oof. Yeah, and as you're talking, Salvaggio up in P6 as a Pro-Am, absolutely huge performance. If he's been performing like this all season, there is no way he's going to keep that Pro-Am badge for much longer. So great driving by him. Also noticed that Shady Samuel got himself up into P2 ahead of Rasciuti, as here we have another replay. I think this is T4 lap 1 as we saw that Bentley spin. Bentley on Bentley action. You hate to see it. Everyone loves the Bentley. But
unfortunate.
Yeah. So a bit of lap 1 shenanigans. Not the worst, but obviously you don't like to see it. But yeah, we can see Keys has gotten up to about a 7/10 lead. So he's still within sight of Samuel here, but he's certainly got a bit of a pace. and then Rashudi's dropped back a little bit from Shady with, yeah, just a little bit of a gap opening up through this top 4 or 5 so far. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. But we've got a very, very close race going on here with Ralahi trying to push up next and past Salvaggio for this P6 spot.
Yeah, Rahali's looked really racy, but he's got to get past here. He really cannot afford to get stuck behind Salvaggio for a long time, because he's got to then work on Struik, and we've seen Struik has been one of the most improved drivers all season. So he's got some work to do, as Luke's Case just pops in a 44.2 race lap. That is ridiculously quick. Here is on board here with Salvaggio, and Rahali's coming. He's going for the move. Ah, lovely move. Oh, he's got too deep. He's ran it too deep, and Salvaggio goes, I will have that back, thank you. Rahali's got to be careful, though. He doesn't want to... Oh, we saw some flamage there at the back. Rahali's got to be careful there. He doesn't want to get too aggressive and make an error which will either damage his car or cause an incident. So he's got to play a little bit smart and just think ahead. Oh, Salvaggio goes a little bit wide, a little bit of understeer there. Rahali's going to have a look. Is he going to try and fire it down the inside? Salvaggio blocks. This is a good exchange. And we've got Pete Johnson there just sitting there waiting and to pick up the scraps. And if they're not careful, the other Johnson will come in as well, and it'll be a Johnson and Johnson as Salvaggio now heads up towards the best corner on the track, that is the one and only Campson.
Yeah, honestly, such a good corner. When you nail it, it just feels so good. And yeah, but if it's Johnson right now and you've seen this move that Rahali's tried to make into T1, I think you're just sort of sitting there and being like, all right, this is looking pretty aggressive. There might be something on for me here if I just sort of sit right here. So I think he's just going to stay within a couple of tenths of these two, trying not to do too much, because clearly Rahali's got some pace on Salvaggio at the moment. He's trying to make some moves before he sort of gets stuck. Because it's a weird thing with sort of driver psychology. You'll be faster than a car and you'll catch up to them, and if you don't overtake them within a couple of laps, all of a sudden you feel like you're stuck forever. So it was good to see him try and make a move into T1, but obviously a bit over aggressive, couldn't quite hold it up, so we'll have to see what he thinks of next.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to think of Salvaggio. Ooh, that's very early to go defensive. I'm not sure about that. But he's holding on to you, Salvaggio. This is what I was saying. He's been, in my opinion, Salvaggio has been the most impressive driver this whole season in Split Red. He's been really great to watch. And he gives a bit of hope for us Pro-Ams that, you know, if you put in the practice, put in the time, you can run up the front, especially in this split as well. Split Red is absolutely stacked. So to be up in that top 10 is a huge effort, and he's definitely going to, I think he'll win this Pro-Am Championship. I think he'll do it comfortably, and that will come with a promotion. He should be stoked with that. I think, yeah, embrace it, as I like to say. And there is Rahali at the moment. So running through the 10, as we've got just ticked over 20, or say 9 minutes, it is Keys, Samuel, Rashudi, Sneakers, Struik, Salvaggio, Rahali, who we're looking at on the screen at the moment, Johnson and Johnson, I love saying that, Gobi, and then Robbie Underwood and Warren just outside the 10 there. As Rahali has a big look at Salvaggio, just shows the nose, just trying to put a little bit of pressure on, maybe force an error. But Salvaggio standing strong, he's standing firm, he's got the brick wall up, and he's trying to catch down Struik a little bit. But Struik's in a little bit of no man's land at the moment in 5th position, just sort of just driving around, hot lapping around. Do you prefer to race in a pack, or do you prefer on your own?
Oh, I mean, for racing, in a pack. But if you want to talk about trying to score points and get to the end of a race, probably hot lapping. But you do have to be careful, because if you're by yourself, you can get a little bit, a bit bored almost, loss of concentration. As we saw a penalty come through for Ahmad Jasmine, drive-through penalty, I believe, for contact. I didn't quite get to the end of that message. Oh, that would have been for the dive that we saw. So yeah, he's been slapped with a DT for that, which is very heavy, but understandable from the stewards there. But yeah, I'd have to say, funnily enough, a boring race is probably what you want as a racing driver, because if you just get into your spot and you just drive away and you don't have to worry about anything, that's the easiest way you're going to earn your points. But racing like this is always a lot more fun, even if you might not necessarily get the best position. We see Rahali put it up the inside there, forcing Salvaggio a little bit wide, making his presence known as we come back up through this wonderful sequences of corners coming up to campus.
Very important. Nice defending it. Salvaggio's doing an amazing job here. Like, the pressure he must be feeling, especially with Rahali behind him, and just right behind him is Johnson as well. Oh, as he goes really defensive there, tries the wide line, runs it a little bit too wide, a little bit of understeer. Does that give Rahali a chance? No, Salvaggio slams the door shut. Says, you're going to have to try better than that.
Yeah, some real good.
I'm a little worried here just because I've seen this before at Barcelona. When they start to stack up a little bit, it can get a little spicy. As it's definitely getting spicy now. Rahali's trying to go on the outside. He's going to try the over and under. Thinks better of it. Salvaggio goes defensive. That's his move. Now they're going to go side by side down to turn one. Probably going to hit about 240, 250 kilometres an hour. Then they're going to stand on the middle pedal. Now Salvaggio gives up the position and Rahali takes the spot. Crucial. Now Johnson, he's going to work on Salvaggio, but Salvaggio does hold down that position there. But Rahali now has got past, moves up in the sixth position, and now he can start to put the foot down, hopefully, and try and work on Sturrock. Great move.
Yeah, that was really, really good. That started all the way back in the chicane. Just put the pressure on Salvaggio a little bit, ran him wide to that sort of left-hander, ruined his run through the right-hander onto the front straight, and then was able to clear him out around the outside of T1. So yeah, really, really good work there. So we'll have to see how much time he can make up to Sturrock now. He's got 18 minutes left to go, so plenty of time. But yeah, some real good racing here at the moment around our wonderful track, Barcelona. As we're on here with Page as he's closing up to the back of Rusciuti. It'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to make a move anytime soon.
Quiet race from Page so far, really sitting there in fourth position, but a quiet race from Page is really a normal race, let's be honest. It's kind of what he does. He just circulates, accumulates points, and then before you know it, you look at the championship leaderboard and you're like, oh, Page is in front. What a surprise. So he's working pretty hard on Rusciuti. He made a little error there. That's going to cost, yeah, you see that cost him a lot of time. As Shady now pops in a 43.9 race lap. So maybe starting to wind up the wick on the big Mustang. Maybe Lucas has gone a little hard too early. But no, we say that, and then Lucas will pull out another 43.5, and we're, oh yeah, there we go. Standard Lucas things, really.
I would be surprised if Keys not necessarily had nothing left in the tank, but I don't think their pace difference is going to be so drastic that Keys is under a ton of pressure just yet. But we never know. Shady's put in the fastest lap so far, so let's see if he can keep it up, because the track is still fast, so it's still not perfect out here for the drivers. So yeah, the times they're putting in on these track conditions are pretty nuts, all things considered. Rain in 30s still hasn't moved any closer, so definitely not going to affect this race, but keeping an eye on that and fingers crossed for the next one. As we
it could affect also the super quali as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we could get the next quali could be wet again, and then we'll see if that affects the race. So very interested in that. And if anyone's not sure of what this particular race is, so race 1, obviously 30 minutes, and then it is a reverse top 10 grid for the next race. So the top 10 of this race will be reverse top 10 starting the next race, and then everybody else qualifies again for the position starting 11th and down. So absolute content with these series. The second race is always very fun to watch because you'll, for example, that was a lot of from Rusciuti there.
It was, and we've got a 20. Is that 28 there? It's yellow flag. Oh no, gone. Oh, that's gone to pits and said I'm done. Wow, there we go. So I believe that was 28.
Yeah, I believe I saw 28 too. I'm sure our brilliant broadcaster, Benjamin, will be onto that as soon as he possibly can, seeing what's happening there. Whether it was an accident, maybe just some hardware. Yeah, here we go. We've got a replay. So this is the Mercedes, would have served their drive-through. Coming around
just
T3.
Lost it on the curb. Oh, that looked a bit weird. On the power, then it did a typical Mercedes thing. Oh, and it backed into the wall for an added bonus.
Right, fair enough. Think he's called it for this race. Understandable. Refresh yourself, get ready for the next one. I respect that. So, as we're back on board with the Salvaggio here, is just under fire constantly, now from Johnston in the Aston Martin. But yeah, he's driving very, very well tonight. He should be proud of himself, still keeping himself inside this top 10.
Certainly is. This is a great drive. Just a quick wrap up of the classes. So it is Keys, Samuel and Rashidi, your top three in Peru. In silver class, it is Carl Johnson, Robbie Underwood, and Warren. In Pro-Am, it is Salvaggio, Gobby, and Pete Viney. And then in AM class, it is Brad Gosling, John Gormley, and another Johnson. That's right, this split does have 3 Johnsons. It is the law firm split. I've always said that. You know, you've got the Kovacs crew of Viney, Rochford, and Johnson. That's a law firm, definitely. Who else we got? I reckon O'Brien, Gosling, and Johnson. That's definitely got a bit of law firm about it.
Yeah, it's just all the lawyers are in this split, apparently.
Exactly.
That makes perfect sense. So, as we're watching here with Page still not quite able to close up to the back of Rashidi, it kind of looks like both of them have just sort of been bouncing over curbs here and there, so not quite perfect. Oh, as we see him come very close to the brakes, as we see him catch the curbs again.
Oh, Rashidi's gone.
No, Rashidi's lost it.
Oh, kept it out of the wall though. That's exact. Right there is a classic example of how Page races. So, really deep on the brakes, got in the back of Rashidi's mirrors, which just forced Rashidi to make a little error, and then there you go, off you get. That is JP 101 right there.
Yeah, and very unfortunate for Rashidi there, because if we watched in the last race, I think we saw Cam Thistlethwaite in the Bentley go straight over that curb, and it didn't even exist. But here in the poor Ferrari, it's bounced him straight back into the wall and lost him a ton of position. So very unfortunate, but that's what's happened. You get the fire turned up underneath you, and you make a little mistake, and that's part of racing. So well done by Page. He's earned that position, even if it wasn't necessarily an overtake. As we're here with Rob Underwood, who is now in P10, I believe, if the bottom right is to be trusted. So it looks like he may be on for your reverse grid poll.
You're brave, trusting ACC timing.
Yeah, not wrong. The one on the left said 11. Now they both said 11th. So he is fighting for reverse grid poll, which actually is very interesting because there's about 5 cars here, all within that sort of little spot. So who knows what could happen by the end of this race.
Yeah, I've just seen here as well, it is getting darker. So the sun is just being covered by a bit of cloud cover here. So currently 23 ambient, 28 on track. So as I said, as Austin's been saying, we won't get rain this race, but it'll just make the drivers have a bit of a think. Especially for race 2, especially if it rains in race 2, oh boy. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn, grab your favourite beverage, because we have got content plus. I'm giving you the red hot tip. As we are looking at Gobby here at the moment in the appropriately made, oh, what a team name, Mustang. Wow, Gobby, you really, a lot of focus groups went into that one. As we do jump on board with him now. Oh, look, there's the foot. Now, you can actually buy that wheel, that forward wheel there. You can buy that. The price, you might need to take out a second loan, but you can buy it.
And fun fact, you can buy that from Simrigs.com. They have this wheel in stock. So if you feel like driving your own Ford Mustang at home in your little Simrig, go ahead and pick that one up for the price of a second house. Highly recommend it.
And if you're a Patreon, you'll get 5% discount as well.
Highly recommend becoming a Patreon.
That is how you plug, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a good looking Mustang, this one though. I like the black-white with the stripes on it, and I believe he has another team car that's just this reverse. And I saw this as well, this poor Bentley, I believe he came into T4 and just completely lost it sideways, 4-wheel drifting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oof, just holds it. Well done. But yeah, lost a couple
Very good.
Yeah, well held, but lost a bit of time there. So keep racing. You might be able to catch back up to them, but somewhat frustrating. Always is as a driver
up in
when
the
you're
foreground now. Just saw a little bit of action there. I think Is that Johnson? Yeah, Johnson and Salvaggio just going out there side by side. Seeing up ahead, they're still side by side.
It looked like the Aston had the speed around the outside, yeah, as he's got the pace on the... but Salvaggio holds it up the inside using that superior cornering speed of the McLaren to hold it for now, but it looked like there was a switchback. As we go to the replay of T1, as we're watching Salvaggio on the inside, Johnston on the outside, as he holds it. Very good racing, well done, but Salvaggio is still there. Bit of a slide on the exit there for Johnston, giving Salvaggio... Oh, they're still side by side into T4 as he runs a little bit wide, bit cheeky, as he comes Rashuti.
Here we go, now it's about to get spicy. Because Stefano has absolutely no problem just sending it. If he gets half an opportunity and he thinks he can do it safely, he'll do it. He definitely doesn't... He's not backwards in coming forwards. So, big fan of Stefano. Love the way he goes about his business. So, looking at that radars too. Oh, rain in 10. Hello. So, this could be maybe a last lap kind of shower situation.
Possibly, if the last lap sort of hits sort of in overtime, like he crosses with a couple of seconds and maybe they'll get a couple of drops. I don't think it'll affect this race too much. But also medium rain in 30, so it's only getting worse. So fingers crossed, we've got everybody, including Jan, doing rain dances in chat. So keep doing them. They seem to be working. Let's keep our fingers crossed for some rain. As we see, Salvaggio's just gotten a slight breather from the pressure that Johnston's been putting him under into turn 1 here.
Here we go, on board with Patrick Johnson at the moment. And he's got the one and only Stefano Rashuti right behind him. And just looking in the background now, that's Carl Johnson just slowly starting to creep up as well. So his battle pack's just starting to squeeze a little bit. But Salvaggio still doing a fantastic job there in 6th position at the moment. He runs quite wide there. I've been watching that McLaren quite a bit. Now, I don't know if it's whether the setup or it just seems that understeers, especially in the mid-corner. Not too sure why. It could be maybe Salvaggio just outbraking himself a little bit, but yeah, it just seems got quite a bit of understeer, which is weird.
With all respect to Salvaggio, I would almost guarantee that it's driver causing that at the moment, because he's watching Johnston and he would have had Rahali from before. It's been constant pressure and he's just trying to make sure he's ahead through the corners, so he's probably just missing his markers by a meter or two here, missing the apex just by a bit there because he's under a lot of pressure at the moment. But he's doing very, very well. He's keeping on the track. When he needs his car to be in the right spot, he's putting it in the right spot. So only 7 minutes left to go, but it's going to feel like an entire 30-minute race for Salvaggio from this point. So let's see if he can hold on.
Definitely, if he can hold on, drive with the day right there, ladies and gentlemen. Lock it, throw it in. As we are getting the chat lighting up there, saying, oh, look out, it's maybe not rain because the race is the next day. And that, yeah, but entertainment, people, come on, get around it. We want rain. It's exciting. Oh, Salvaggio, that is defensive. That move was very aggressive. But I like it. That's intent. That's showing, right, I'm not going to make this easy to get past here. You are going to have to really make sure you are alongside me before I even think about opening the door. But Stefano's there as well, just lurking, hanging around. That corner there, that's the 3rd time I've seen that McLaren take that line. It's an interesting line. It is one of those corners. I don't know if you take a certain line there, Austin, but there is 2 lines through there.
Yeah, I think in me and the Lamborghini often sort of dive towards the apex and keep it tight and accelerate to the exit. Sort of veer it off a little bit is what I've moved towards. As we watch him get very wide, touches the sand, that is going to be very bad for his run down here, so he's going to have to be careful. Doesn't look like Johnston has the speed on him to make a move here, but that goes his entire gap. So we're going to have to watch them through this next part of the track, through this left-right. The McLaren often is very good through sort of mid-high speed corners. I think that's where it shines the most, particularly compared to an Aston, as we see him pull a tiny bit of a gap there as they come through into this final chicane before the front straight. Pulls it up nicely, hits both apexes. He probably got in the power nicely. Not too bad, yeah. So Salvaggio with a very good exit there, but Johnston just falling back into the grasp of a Raschuti here, who seems to have got a good run. We'll see if the Ferrari can pull on the Aston. The Ferrari is actually surprisingly quick, so we see if he makes a move into T1 here.
Of course,
Pulls up to the inside. Does he get alongside enough? Does he get racing room? He does. He's alongside.
Oh, Stefano, that is classic. Great move.
Yep.
Just saw the gap and said, yep, here I come. And Patrick, I think, knew it was done as well. He opened the steering quite, didn't really squeeze him too much. Let's have a look here. Stefano just runs a beautiful line. Yeah, and Johnson just ran a little deep there as well. I think he knew the game was up and didn't want to fight it too hard. And Stefano now will start to turn up the wick on Salvaggio. If he hasn't had enough to deal with, he's now got to deal with a very quick Stefano, who will be pretty fired up in that Ferrari as well after his mistake a few laps ago. So, Salvaggio, keep an eye on your rear mirror, my friend.
Yeah, it's one of the trickiest things to do, because the best thing to do at the moment is just drive facing forward. If you drive in your rear view mirrors, you're going to make mistakes, but when there's an entire white and purple Ferrari filling up every single mirror you can see, it is hard to ignore. As we watch him go wide down into this corner, so now Raschuti is alongside, but Salvaggio has the inside for this long sweeping right, so he should be able to hold on to that, but we can see Raschuti is very keen and already starting to make a couple of moves. Salvaggio is feeling the pressure as they come through this final chicane again onto this straight. We'll see if Salvaggio can get another good exit, try and hold off Raschuti for one more lap, or at least a corner.
He's been very good on that last part of the chicane, Salvaggio. He avoids that little bump or the silent policeman, whatever you want to call it, all the time really well. So, which then helps his terminal speed down the long straight. Yeah, he runs it into turn one. I thought that looked a little bit slow. So he's under pressure here. He does the double brake, the triple brake method. Interesting. So that's another little caveat with this track as well. The braking, some people do one big long application. Some people like to trail brake a lot. This corner right here, that is two different lines. So Salvaggio takes that wide line and really tries to square off the corner. But you saw Stefano runs it nice right around the inside of the corner. Both ways are effective. It's just two ways to skin a cat, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly with that corner, I think leaning into your car's strengths there works perfectly fine. The McLaren's very solid at sort of the mid-high speed corners, as I mentioned before. So you sort of brake a bit earlier but carry the speed, whereas some other cars, maybe not necessarily the Ferrari specifically, are a bit more point and squirt. So as he makes a move up to the inside, gets given the space, but once again it's on the inside there. Yeah, doesn't quite get the run. So yeah, definitely making his presence known. Well done to Salvaggio, no contact, some very clean racing. But everyone's very, with 2 minutes left to go, they are desperately looking to try and get these last couple of points that they possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I've been watching Bubble Watch as well. Now, it is Gobby in 10th position at the moment, but there is definitely a battle brewing there, because Warren and Underwood are pretty close. So that is the real interesting part of this race. Look, Lucas Key's going to win it. Let's not beat around the bush here. Shady should come second, and JP should come third. But here we go. This is what we wanted. This is the action. So it is Gobby at the moment, currently in 10th position on provisional pole, but he's got Warren right behind him, and Warren is looking keen, and Robbie Underwood's right there as well. It's almost like Gobby's like, right, okay, I'm sitting in 10th. I'm just going to stay here. As we go back here, Stefano now up on the inside of Salvaggio. They're going to go side by side, but Stefano gets it done. Lovely move. Really opportunistic, and just took his opportunity and said, yep, I'll be taking some of that, and went bang, and here comes the rain.
Excited to see rain in the last little bit of the race. I'm not sure we might actually... No, I don't think we will, because we've got about 50 seconds left, and the leaders are coming through Sector 3 at the moment. So I think we might get an extra lap, but with a hot track, hot tyres, it won't matter too much. But we do like to see it. But everyone was correct. This race is on the Saturday, with the next race being on the Sunday, so the 30 minutes of rain doesn't mean much But fingers crossed, keep rain dancing. And as we see, Johnston has gotten past Salvaggio as well. Must have really pounced on a little bit of a mistake there. Loss of momentum, getting overtaken by Raschuti. So poor Salvaggio has lost a couple of spots in this second to last lap, but he's still doing very well. He's P8, which is going to be P3 for the next race. So very good driving from him regardless.
Definitely. But that track, geez, we're greasy. Wow, that didn't muck around, did it? So, greasy track, 1 lap of rain. You still got to be wary. You got to be careful of the curbs, especially around this track. The curbs can be quite slippery. As we look at the Carl Johnson, he's going to try and go around the outside of Salvaggio in the Porsche. That should be easy as peasy. Porsche says, rain, mixed conditions. This is where I do some of my best work. But Salvaggio's going to fight back here, and that is a great defence. Brilliant exchange. No contact as well. Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, great defensive driving from Salvaggio there. He refuses to give up another position. I love to see it. He is fighting till the very, very end to keep as many points as he can in this first race. He's doing absolutely brilliant driving. As, yeah, honestly, now that it's gone greasy and it's starting to rain, all your markers have moved a little bit. Everything's just starting to feel a little bit strange. Even if it's just for 1 lap, just trying to keep it together becomes a whole lot more trickier. And, yes, as you mentioned, the Porsche loves these conditions. So, suddenly very, very strong from Johnson in his Porsche as they come through this wonderful corner, which would be feeling a little bit more slippery now. Everyone seems to get it through just fine. Gobby is holding well onto P10. He looks fairly comfortable there. There's nothing too drastic going on. So it looks like he's set for a reverse pole. As we swap to Keys here, who's celebrating his P1. Show off. Followed by Shady Samuel in P2. Honestly, kept him very honest. He didn't drop too far back. And here we have Pease just with his very quiet race, finishing in P3. Well done. Followed by Nahali, who's finished P4.
Great job.
Good. Great recovery drive from that as we come to this final chicane with Johnson following up behind Salvaggio. Seems like he doesn't quite get the exit. Plus, the finish line is very close to the end.
I tell you what, Gobby had to fight there.
Oh, yeah, that was very spicy by the end there. But Salvaggio holds on to his P8. Well done, mate. That was excellent driving. And Gobby with the reverse grid pole. So we are in for a very, very, very good second race.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's, yes, race 2 is going to be excellent. Yeah, Gob and Johnson off the front row, spicy. Salvaggio right there as well. He's shown pace, so he could be quick in race 2 as well. But Lucas Keys and Shady coming from that 9th and 10th position is going to be really interesting to keep an eye on. As we're looking at Igor here, he's going to finish in 18th. Solid drive. I reckon you'll be happy with that. Anytime you can finish top 20 in a sprint race, you've had a good day. And Brad Gosling will take the AM class win, and then it's John Gormley and Johnson, 2nd and 3rd there in AM. And in Pro-Am, it's Scotty Rochford and Pete Viney. Scotty Rochford and Gobby that will get the podium in Salvaggio, of course, who we've been discussing at length. And that is race 1 run and done. What will happen now is they'll do a bit of a reset. Top raining, bloody hell. And the basically from 10th down now we'll go out and do a 10-minute quality session, and then we'll flip the 10 around and we'll get ready for race 2. Now, I did see in chat, just want to give a bit of a congratulations. I don't know if it's been done already, but I'm going to do it. To the one and only JC, whose amazing partner Monique had a bubs this morning, and everyone is all healthy and all well, so it's great to have another little bomber in the family. So congratulations to them. It's always nice to extend the family, and it's always good to add another one to the bomber family especially. So congratulations, JC and Monique. And by the way, his name's the best name as well.
Love to see JC starting his own little endurance team. Congrats, mate. Love to see that for you. As we get started here in Q2. So yeah, as Sean mentioned before, the top 10 from the last race will not be qualifying. That is the set top 10 for the next race. But everyone else gets to go out there and put their big boy boots on and try and put the fastest lap in they possibly can. Looking at track temps and track conditions, it is only fast. Track with 23 degrees Celsius, so times won't be rapid. But yeah, we'll have to see who manages to get the, I'll say provisional pole, but it's P11. But yeah, let's put their best laps in. And sadly, not seeing any rain either, so hopefully that changes.
Yeah, definitely agree. It's no rain business. I'm not a fan of it. So can we get that fixed? Here is Robert Berkeley in the, let's be honest, that Bentley is absolutely stunning. Such a big fan of that colour scheme. Just works.
Yeah. Black and gold is an absolute classic. It's hard to go wrong with it. And particularly on the Bentley, it just looks like British elegance. It is a great car to look at.
It is. I'd agree. It's something about the Bentley. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those cars that gets under your skin. And I don't know if you've ever heard one in real life. Oh my goodness.
Sadly, I've never heard a Bentley in real life. The times I've been to GT3 races have only been recent years. For anyone in OOR who went to the Bathurst 12 hour this year, I was also there, and that was a great experience. So love camping at the top of the mountain for the 12 hour. As we're on board with Brad Gosling, who looks to be trying to set his first valid lap. We'll see some indicative times come in fairly soon, I would guess. This might be the first flying lap for everybody. Yeah, so we'll see what kind of times we expect in this session from these lads.
Definitely. So big thank you goes to Simrigs.com, of course, for sponsoring the Sprint Series. They've been amazing all season. Of course, we are in the mood for some Sing gear. Go check them out. Their website is fantastic. Also, they've got their showroom in Melbourne now, which is awesome. And just a reminder as well, we do have so next week it is our final round at Paul Ricard, the French car park. And then we'll have a 1 week break, and then we'll be back for season 21 of Sprints, season 18 of the Academy, and of course season 5 of the Club 50. We've also got some Le Mans Ultimate Racing going on. We've got Automobilista 2. There's some iRacing kicking around. I do believe there's a rally series that has kicked off as well, which is exciting. So basically, if you want to go racing, OOR is the place. I'm definitely going to give the Le Mans Ultimate a crack, probably on track and also in the box as well. If you don't know me, WEC is my absolutely favourite racing category in the world. I absolutely love it. So keen to get stuck into some of that as we are looking here at Brad Gosling, who is going to give us our first time. No, he's not, because that's a 4 minutes 40. So that's probably not the lap you're after there. At 1:46.657, there we go. As Matthew Bolt does a one. Oh, here we go. Now the time's coming in. Pete Viney at 45.9. Now we're starting to get quick.
Yeah, here we go. Here's some indicative laps. Obviously, that was still everybody's out lap from the pits, so it was invalid and far too long. So it was a bit tricky to see what everyone was going to set. As now we have Scotty Rushton coming in with a 45.4. So very, very good. Only 200ths in front of P2 there. So very, very close up the top still. As the beautiful Bentley comes through the final chicane. Looks to hit the chicanes nicely. Ignores the curb completely. Gets a good exit out of the final corner here. Let's see what time we're going to be setting for Berickley as he comes around. And he gets a suspense. Oh, he got a 1:46, but sadly it was invalid. As Rashmat actually.
Oh,
Rashmat. Hello.
Oh, so he was not in race 1, but he's decided, well, I'm going to pop in for race 2. It just drops a 44 flat, if you don't mind.
Well, I guess he just wanted to do top 10, 10th to 1st or 11th to 1st, and just popped into the last half of this race to just throw a spanner in the works. So love to see him here. That's just more content for us. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. As here we have a duo of blue Bentleys as well. I love how many Bentleys and older cars are in the Sprint Series recently. They've really made sort of a bit of a resurgence.
Certainly have. The LFM Bops really helped him out, which is great. And I think the best part about Barcelona, and something I've always enjoyed, is the Bop is the best of Barcelona, personally. I feel like every car is pretty close together. It's not really, you don't see a lot of sort of plus 40s or minus 15, all that stuff. That's why, yeah, I'm a big fan of Barcelona. I think it's the one track where the Bop makes sense. Of course, we do know there is other tracks where it makes completely no sense, as we are getting word that Rashmat did join mid-race 1, so there is a spanner in the works. That is an X factor 100%. We'll keep an eye on him as he will start from 11th position, so really excited to see how he goes, as we are looking here at Scotty Rochford in the Honda, who is currently in 4th. That will be, don't do math, Sean, you know your rule. As we're looking back here at Rashmat, who's going half a second quick. This is going to go 43. Oh, wow.
A 43 on a fast track, I believe. That is moving. But we all know Rashmat to be a very, very quick operator. So almost not surprising, to be honest, as we're on board with Gormley now. Coming through, I believe, T7 into T8, coming up to campus. He's got a 10th, and he's gained a bit of time on exit there. That's really good. See how he goes through this corner. Loses on entry. Better exit, though. Gains a bunch of time down the straight. Well done. You see if he nails his braking marker into this little hairpin. He's 3/10 up going into it. Looks good. Hits the apex. Doesn't unsettle the car. Very nice. Little time on exit. That's okay. As we come through this long right-hander, you just got to wait and wait and wait to really get on the power. Not a bad exit, so he's about 2/10 up at the moment as you come through this awkward right-left. Just brings it in nicely. A bit wide, that's fine. Get a good exit. He's gained a bunch of time through there. A little bit lost on exit. He's about 2.5 up now. Don't know where this is going to put him. A couple of positions. We'll see where he ends up. So that's a P4, so that's provisional P15 for the time being. So very good lap from Gormley there, as Rochford comes across nearly a 10th up. Doesn't look like he gained a spot there. I don't believe he did. And, yes, there's wonderful Bentley.
Yeah, we can just look at this. We don't even need to commentate it, really. We'll just look and listen. That's all it needs to be done, really. But this is actually not a bad lap here from Brickley. Currently nearly 0.2 up on his best lap, so it will move him up. It does, up into that 15, so he does knock Gormley off. Back here with Pete Chalmers. Oh, here we go. Now he's knocked them off. So it's starting to get really hot here. Now I've got word through that Rashmat has headed out again. So we could see a real Hollywood number here, which will just put a little fear, or not a fear, but just give Lucas and co just something to think about. Let's look at here at Gormley, who I feel like this quali session, Gormley's found something. He's got a little bit of pace here. So if he could just keep this, that was a bit awkward. That's Rashmat just getting out of the way. Lost a lot of time there though, but gained a little bit again. Now up through Blanc Sabal and down in the Europe car. I probably completely butchered that, but that's all right. Then down into the RACC chicane. They just look so awkward through there. They look cumbersome. They look, not fun to drive. Oh, was that someone in the middle of the chicane? Looked like it. As Gormley now, he will improve, but does it move him up a spot? It does not. So he'll stay there in 6th on the road, and I think that's 17th on track. As we are looking here at Pete Chalmers, who's 0.2 up on his best lap in the Porsche. In the Kovacs green Porsche, one of my absolute favourites on track. Looks fantastic. It's great to see the Kovacs guys have seen the light and have realised, hey, the Porsche, Sean's been cracking on about this Porsche for ages. It's actually not a bad car. See, I'm not completely delusional. As it comes through. Lost a lot of time there. That is the one thing the Porsche struggles at. Anytime you hit a curb, the Porsche goes, no, what are you doing? I don't like this.
As we're on board, I believe, with Rashmat trying to get his hero lap in right at the very end here. He's already down a little bit of time, so we'll see if there's any easy time for him to gain over his lap. I don't believe there will be. So we'll have to see what he can pull out as we jump on with Igor, who is 4/10 up coming into Sector 3. So looking like a very solid lap. This should get him... Currently, this won't gain him any spots because he is 6/10 behind P8. So we'll have to see if he can pull out another 2 or 3/10 at the end of this lap, as he does gain a 10th through there. So that's very possible. Maybe the track's gone optimum just in this very last second, because this is a lot of time to make up.
Wow. Yeah, he's found a heap of time there. So he definitely needs to climb Everest, though. See what I did there? That was pretty good. As he heads down into the chicane. Oh, he's definitely finding time all the time. Oh, he lost it on exit, though. So easy to do there. As soon as you hit that bump or the sausage, that's it. You just bleed time. Such a brutal part of the track. But that is qualifying. Well done there. But it is going to be Rashmat, who popped in a 43.49. Warren, Underwood, Chalmers, Brickley, Gormley, Viney, Rochford, Igor, and Gosling are your 10. And race 2, 3 minutes away. But, of course, you are watching round 5 of 6 of the Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series from Barcelona in beautiful Catalonia area in Spain. Lovely part of the world. Great tapas if you're a tapas fan. So head on the Barcelona. And you can pop in the new camp and go watch Barcelona play as well.
I will enjoy my tapas as I complain that there is no rain. Sadly, this looks like another dry race. Hopefully, maybe it'll come halfway through. That would be fun. That's our last hope currently. Everybody keep your rain dances up. It's not over just yet. But as we go through here, everyone, when you watch the start of the formation lap, it'll look a little bit silly for those who haven't seen it before, because obviously we've got to call through the original top 10 in reverse to start the formation lap. And then remember that the race start will be slightly delayed because P11 is actually P1. But other than that, it should be a good race start. As we go through here with all these wonderful liveries, there's honestly such a large amount of talented livery creators in OOR. You can just, every car looks like a piece of art in its own way, bar a couple. They know who they are.
Yes. No Ben Deek in this race, thank God. So I don't have to look at the abomination. There's Lucas Keys with his No Man's Sky. And then there's a Fruit Bowl livery, of course. There is our championship leader at the moment. So we'll do, actually, while we do have a bit of time, we'll do a bit of a championship rundown. So it is for Harley leading the way at the moment. He's got a 14-point gap over Lucas Keys. And then in third, it is Shady Samuel, and then JP and Josh Strook are your 5. In silver class, it is Carl Johnson from Robbie Underwood, and then I believe that's Zach Warren in third in silver. And then in Pro-Am, it is Salvaggio from Gubby, and then Pete Viney. And then in Am class, it is John Gormley leading the way from Miles Johnson, and then Matthew Applin. So plenty to play out, especially with Paul Ricard come out. We know Paul Ricard, it's not a track that some people don't enjoy it, but it does produce amazing racing. It's one of the, I don't know why it does it, but it just does. It does produce awesome racing, and I think with such a mixture of cars, especially here in Split Red, next week's going to be something pretty special to watch.
Yeah, I try and convince a lot of people of this, because obviously they try out Paul Ricard in their single-player hot lap mode, and it's boring, and I'm not surprised. But you got to get into a server, you got to race it, and it just comes alive. For whatever reason, every single race there is some of the most fun you can ever have. So it's my personal belief that it's one of the better tracks in the game due to that. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. That always produces a bunch of content when we go to Paul Ricard. That'll be a great final round. And also thinking of the...
I was just going to say, it's the most famous track in OLR history. I mean, it's the home of the most famous redrawing ever.
The wonderful... What was that? The Bender? No, it's not the Bender
Special.
The Bender Special, yeah. So
I mean, it's even a corner named after him. I mean, that's the highest praise he can get.
Absolutely classic moment there. That's digging into the archives a little bit at this point, but absolutely OOR history, Hall of Fame moment right there. And just speaking of the points, I can't remember the exact points given for the 30-minute races here in these two split race weekends, but I believe with Keys coming first and Nahali coming fourth, Keys may have gotten that 14-point gap covered. So this race, I believe, will be Nahali and Keys fighting head-to-head for as many points as they can to keep ahead in the championship. So little bit of a championship fight to watch here in this one.
The thing also we really need to keep an eye on is Rashmat, because he can play spoiler here.
Rashmat is one of the quickest guys here.
Yep.
I would say could definitely hold the torch to Keys quite easily. So he will be one to watch. There will be a lot of fireworks coming from that Mustang.
And I think Lucas will enjoy this. I think he likes a race. Contrary to popular belief, Lucas is not one of those guys that likes to drive off into the distance. He likes a race. He likes to get roll up sleeves and get stuck in. So he'll enjoy this. He'll enjoy the challenge. And this could be a real good one. I've just got a feeling this might be an absolute beauty. Just seeing where everyone is on the track. Looks pretty clear out there, so it's going to be fast as well. Lights are on. Couple of guys running the lights, or the old intimidation factor.
Do a JC, throw your indicators on.
Yeah, why not? Throw the hazards on, do everything. Well, guess what, Austin? You're in the driver's seat, mate. I'm going to leave it with you, this one.
All right, fair enough. Let's call the start of this race. I'm just going to call it now that there is no rain for 30. So, very upsetting. I apologize to everyone who's been doing their rain dances. It hasn't worked this week. But also, to be fair, we've had a lot of rain recently in Ottawa, so maybe I'll let this one slide. But here we are, we're all lined up 2 by 2, ready to start the second race in Split Red, round 5 at Barcelona. Absolutely expect fireworks from this race. Reverse top 10. We got Gobby in front, followed by Johnson in the port, and Salvaggio, already my driver of the day, in P3. And we've got the likes of Rashmat, Keys, and Samuel P9, 10, and 11 gonna make their way through the ranks as we get ready to go here. Everyone's coming up, delayed start, and we're away. As we watch Salvaggio look to the inside, seem to get a pretty good start. It's going to be difficult to beat that Mustang down to T1 though. The Porsche also got a decent start as we're going 3-4 wide in the back there. Everybody keep it clean. We managed it race 1. Let's see if we can do it again. 3 wide, 2, 3, 4. So many people. Oh, a little tap there. Everyone, ooh, that was very close. It looked like everyone kept it somewhat straight. Well done, everybody. I think that was Johnston in the Aston Martin got a little bit sideways there, but everyone kept it together. Gobby's still in the lead. Salvaggio up to P2. Absolutely great moves there. As now we're watching Page next to Keys here, trying to make a move on that Aston Martin. I'm not quite sure who that is.
That's Stewart.
Yes, excellent. As we got Page on the outside of Stewart there. It looks like Rashmat's just ahead of him following Johnston. Looks to be, yep, everyone kept it clean through 4. Well done. Very, very good. So yeah, a great start from Split Red here as we're trying to settle in. Salvaggio has made up a position. So we've got Gobby, Salvaggio, Johnson, your top 3. Rashudi in P4. Nahali in P5 at the moment. Samuel's gotten up to 6th. Great start from him. Johnson in 7th. Rashmat in 8th. Sonicus in 9th. And Keys still in 10th. But a very clean start, so we'll have to see where we can go. Oh, it looks like Gormley has gone off there. I believe that's Gormley, 666.
Yep,
didn't quite... Might have messed up campus a little bit. We might get a replay of that in a second. As we're coming around through the final chicane to finish off our first lap. We'll see. Ooh, looks like Gobby got a bit of an exit there. Salvaggio up the inside. Very well done. Salvaggio P3 to P1 on the
Get around him.
Driver of the day, calling it now. Don't care. Well done, mate.
Salvaggio takes the lead there from Gobby after a little error there at the final turn. Can Salvaggio hold on and even just lead a lap? Gobby tries to throw it around the outside. There's been contact. Oh, no, dear, oh, dear. Oh, there's been drama. I could see that coming. I was just keeping an eye on that, and I thought, oh, that's a little too close there, and that's hurt Salvaggio a lot. So he had to sort of went off track there, and I'll leave that to the people a lot more qualified and get paid more than I do, but yeah, definitely, it's a tough one to call that one, but we'll get back to the racing action because that's really helped Gobby. Now, Johnson here, Carlos just in second, if you don't mind. Yeah, no dramas. Nice work there from Carlos. In third is Stefano. We know what Stefano's like. He is a rabid dog when he gets an opportunity. Here we go. Got a replay here. So, what is going on here? Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just going to go oh dear with that one.
Yep, just a little bit of Constantina there, lap 1. That often happens. But yeah, as you're talking, obviously, Rashudi is trying to make a move on Johnson, probably as soon as possible, to get the Bunsen burner that is Nahali off his rear bumper. Give himself... Oh, there's a bit of contact with Page and Salvaggio.
And Salvaggio, and this... Oh, wow.
Oh, it is all popping
messy
off at the moment. This is the reverse top 10 shenanigans that we all somewhat love to see, but you not necessarily love to see it. As we go into the replay here, as they try and go too wide through there, Page gets onto the grass and just can't quite pull it up. Spins. That's real unfortunate. To me, that's just some rough racing with a little bit of Kunos physics, but you hate to see it. As we're watching here with Rashudi trying to make a move around the outside of Johnson. Very well done. Nahali also trying to make moves happen. Didn't quite get the gap there. Trying to follow Rashudi through as they're coming through T3 now. He's got a bit of a run. I don't think he might move around, but I don't think he can make a move from here. Ooh, that is very, very close racing. Got us on the edge of our seats here.
This pack is spicing right up. So Carl's doing a good job here, but he has got some very quick operators behind him that are looking extremely racy. This is always the way with these doubles sort of 30-minute races. Race 2 is always more action-packed than race 1. I don't know why, but it just is. This is going to be really intriguing to see how this all plays out, because Carl's doing a good job, but Rahali definitely wants to get past, because important for his championship. Oh, it's Rashford. They're going to go sort of 3 wide. Oh, lads, settle down. Oh, they've got it. Oh, Rashford trying to go around the outside of Rahali again. This is incredible. What an exchange between absolute 2 high-class operators here. And sitting behind him is Shady Samuel, and then Johnson's in there as well. And then Lucas Keys is just sitting off the back going, what is going on here? This is unbelievable. What a fantastic bit of racing that was.
I'm going to say I think we called the fireworks from this race, because we could see how quick the operators were in P10 and backwards, and we are absolutely getting it. As here, I think we get a replay of someone going around the outside of Salvaggio. This is the accident to T1. Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah.
Real close racing. Yeah, look, not my job to call. Always a bit tricky. I think the McLaren tries to brake early, but then has to carry more speed through the corners, and the Mustang's not quite as competent through the corners, so it's always going to come to a bit of a blow there.
No.
Unfortunate to see.
Austin? No, the Mustang is
a
a light, agile scalpel. It's beautifully balanced.
Precision implement called a sledgehammer.
Here we have exactly.
The incident between
American screwdriver.
Page and Salvaggio. Yeah, 2 wide through there, didn't quite work, and then can't pull it up on the grass, and the Ferrari hates the curbs. Absolutely nothing he could do by that stage. Really unfortunate.
Paul Struck had nowhere to go there.
Yeah, hate to see that one. So, anyway, fireworks here in the second race of Split Red, as now we're back on with Rashmat, who's still trying to make a move on Rahali. He hasn't quite been able to get it done just yet, and he's also still chasing Johnson, and hasn't been able to make that move stick just yet. Looks like currently Gobby, I won't say is comfortable in P1, but he has a 1.5 second gap to Rashudi, who I'm sure is trying his best to hunt him down. But Gobby has purple lap, so he's got some decent pace on him at the moment.
He certainly has, but we've seen Stefano, who's really quick. And as we know with Stefano, as he pops into 43.9, Stefano's just starting to cook now. Look at this battle. Carl Johnson, take your hat off to him. He's doing an awesome job holding off our championship leader at the moment with a really thorough defence, and Rashmat's just sitting here going, I want some of this. But most patient driver at the moment is Lucas Keys, who is just sitting there, waiting, biding his time. He knows his opportunity will come, which is great to see from Lucas. That's how you win championships, in my opinion, being patient.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking at the same time, there hasn't been a lot happening from Keys just yet, but I think he is smart enough to see that the amount of ducking and diving and weaving going on 2, 3, 4 cars ahead of him at the moment, I think something will come to him in the next 20 odd minutes. So very smart racing from Keys at the moment. Plus, also, to be fair, it is just kind of tricky to overtake people who drive this fast around this track. So, all credit to these drivers. It's not easy to overtake, and they're trying to make it happen as we watch Rahali try and get another run on Johnson down this back straight as he keeps it to the inside, defends. Well done. Rashmat taking the normal racing line, probably going to try and get a run behind one of the faster cars there.
That might be a speed token right there for Rahali. And Rashmat's now going to try and throw it around the outside. Bold around there. The Mustang will go, I don't like that very much. And he'll have to tuck back in. Really important here for Rashmat. If he can get a really good exit right here. He just loses a little bit of time there from Rahali in the BMW. The Mustang, as we know, is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line. If he can get a good run and get a tow, he's a chance. Oh, but look at Rahali here. He's right in the slipstream here of Stefano. Now, Stefano, how defensive does he go? He actually does. Oh, no, it's Carl Johnson. Sorry, my mistake. Oh, look at Rashmat. Tries to throw it up the inside of Carl. Carl says, "You're not." I don't think so. Wow, that was very close there from Rashmat, but just pulled it up. Really good.
Possibly just a little bit too opportunistic from Rashmat there. Maybe, yeah, not quite sure what happened there because he just seemed to come out of nowhere, tried to get up that inside. Very well done for Johnson for keeping that straight and just giving enough room. As now we see that, Rashmat's sliding backwards a little bit. He's up the inside. He's got the Porsche. Sorry, not Porsche. That's an Aston Martin.
Oh, hang on. What's happened to Carl and Rashmat there? Because they've dropped back. Yeah, good spot there, Austin. So Shady's now in front.
Yeah,
so Carl, something's happened there.
Yeah, I think there must have been contact through probably 3 and 4 as we're getting some penalties come through now for lap 1. That's all right. Yeah, Nahali's now got a bunch of time to himself. Looks like Johnson's gone all the way back. Looks like, who's that? Shady Samuel's gotten in front of Rashmat. So, yeah, something has happened. I'm sure we'll figure that out soon. As we're watching Rashudi close up to the back of Gobby at the moment. He is now 2.5 tenths. He is hunting that man down. He wants that P1.
Definitely, we're going to have a battle here for P1 in a minute.
Yeah, a bunch of little good battle packs going on at the moment. Here we have a replay. So I think this is what's happened. So we're watching... So Nahali is already ahead. Yep, that's fine. He made the move into T1. Rashmat dives into T3.
Oh, you can't be doing that. Unfortunately, that may come with an invoice. A shame, but that's racing, unfortunately. You just got to be a little bit patient. As he is trying to work on the back of Shady. Here's Carl Johnson. Carlos won't be overly impressed with that, but he'll truck on. That's what he does. He gets his head down and just keeps on rolling. Everyone knows I'm a massive Carlos fan. Always have been for a long time. He's a lovely guy, by the way. I don't know if you ever spoke to him, Austin. Such a nice person.
Sadly, no. I haven't talked to... Yeah. But he's
one of
driving
those things,
very, very well.
Yeah, some of sim races you speak to, and they're not arrogant, but they're just, they know how good they are. Carl is humble as F.
As you can see him, we're back to Rashmat now. He's still P5, so not too bad coming up from P11 at the moment. Now he's got to chase down the back of Shady Samuel, who is a very, very quick operator who's trying to catch Rahali. As we see, Rashudi has made the pass for T1. We didn't quite catch that on stream because there's so much content going on, but Rashudi is now in the lead. So,
Stefano, wow,
very, very well done by him.
That's alarm bells. That's alarm bells to me for the rest of the field, because if Stefano gets out in front and gets the foot down, I don't think they're going to catch him. Here we go. Here's the move for the lead of the race. And, look at that. I think Gobby just opened the wheel a little bit, maybe just went a little bit too deep on the brakes here. And Stefano said, yep, I'll be taking that. And now I'm pretty sure he's going to drive off from the distance. The key is Rahali. Now, Rahali would have seen that and gone, okay, I've got to get my skates on here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work for him to catch Rashudi because they've probably got a fairly similar pace, and he has to try and make the move on Gobby. But we've still got 17 minutes, and there's been so much has been going on in this race, so we cannot count anybody out just yet. As where are we at the moment? We've got Rashudi P1, Gobby P2, Rahali P3 with Samuel, Rashmat, Johnston, Keys, Salvaggio, Johnson, then Underwood. And there's been so much going on. I cannot guarantee that is how this is going to stay. As we're on board now with Carl Johnson in his Porsche, getting a little bit squirrely there, trying to chase down the back of our man Salvaggio, who is, after all things, still P8. Is a very good outing for my man. So, although Gobby, also Pro-Am, in P2 at the moment, is a huge showing.
Certainly. Now, as a quick question in chat, I've got to answer. 4,500 there, Dom. So we're back looking here at Carl Johnson, who has put up a really brave defence. He's just got bullied a little bit, but that'll be all right. He's going to get his head down. He'll keep trucking on. That's what he does. Still in 9th position, which is a great drive. Now on board with Rashmat, who's working on the back of Shady. These two know each other quite well. They've been racing together for a long time now, so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. They're both in the Mustang, so it literally is going to come down to driver. And Shady's had a really solid season as well. He's been super consistent, which is really good to see.
Yeah, I've raced a couple of times with Shady. One of the quickest operators I know, and very, I'll say, kind is the word I'm looking for. He's a very respectful racer. I've had a great time on track with him before, so yeah, and particularly, although Rashmat is looking a little bit spicy today, I'm sure hopefully he's calmed down a little bit and will make some decent moves. He is very good at racing on his day. He's one of the best for a reason. As now we're back on board with Gobby, who Rahali has closed up to the back of. So we'll have to see how long he'd be able to hold him off for.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I thought Stefano would drive away a bit more there, but he hasn't. So here we go. Got Lucas Keys here on Johnson. This should be around the outside. Does it nicely. Classic kid right there.
Yeah, great driving there. That was really, really good. And you're not wrong. It is 1.5 seconds. But with the rate that he caught up to him, I would have thought it'd been a bit more. And it seems sort of like between him and Rahali, they've sort of stayed the same gap between those two drivers. So it could still be on here. It's certainly not over just yet. We'll have to see how much of a fight Gobby puts up here to stay in P2. Yeah, obviously the Mustang is great down the straights. Beamer's not too bad at some places, but it's going to be difficult to get any sort of overspeed by the end of this straight. I think even if Gobby gets a bad exit, the Mustang can just pull so much back. As there we go, Lucas Keys pumps in at 43.4, clearly with a bit of free air for a little bit there. Could finally put his true pace down.
I was actually playing, it's interesting you mentioned, just keep an eye on this, because that was a little bit wide there from Gobby in the Mustang there, and that's going to give Rahali a bit of a sniff here. I'll just stay with this for a little bit, because Rahali now is starting to show the nose here. Starting to get a little racy. Does he go for a move down here? It is a popular spot to make a move, but no, maybe just a little bit too far back. I was driving the Le Mans Ultimate today before I jumped in the box, having a bit of a spin. And it's the biggest thing I've noticed is the top speed. So on ACC, the top speeds are quite different. The Mustang does 295 at Bathurst in 5th gear or something stupid like that. And the Aston hits 280 and then hits the world's biggest brick wall as Rahali has a big look down here at the inside. Gobby, I think, just opens the wheel, knows that's not his race, and lets Rahali go. Now, Rahali will get the eyes on, and he'll chase after Stefano very hard here. This could be a race win, and this could be huge for the championship, because Lucas Keys is currently in 6th at the moment. Now, Lucas does have the purple lap, but Rahali winning this would be huge, absolutely massive. So, really important here for Lucas. Now he's got to get the head down.
And that is not easy to do, because he is behind Rashmat and Shady Samuel, and they are very, very quick drivers. So he's got one hell of a job ahead of him to try and close this points gap to Rahali before the end of this race. And yeah, you're not wrong, speaking of those GT3s and LMU, and I'll say sadly, because they're not unlocked to their full potential, but just because they race with the hypercars, which was slower than the old gen LMP1s. They had to slow the LMP2s down, and because the LMP2s are slowed down, they've had to slow the GT3s down. So sadly, they are a bit slower. But I recommend everyone give that game a go. It's not perfect for everybody. It's still a work in progress, but I find it a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of potential there for us endurance racers.
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to that one. See what they make of it.
Of course, that is tomorrow night. If you do want to sign up, that is they're going around the Bahrain Outer Circuit tomorrow night. As the 420, that looks like it's spun around there down at the chicane. Is that the chicane? Yes, it is.
T1.
So, T1. Yeah, that works. We'll go to T1. It's a chicane. It's just a fast one.
Yeah, true.
So looking here at Shady at the moment, currently in 4th position in the Big Bad Mustangs. We jump on board and listen to this big V8 roar. It is nice to... It's nice to see an American manufacturer, but it's also nice to see a good old-fashioned V8 still in racing. It's they are a dying engine. Most car companies now are going towards turbos and diesels and, dare I say it, electric. But hearing a good old-fashioned V8 roar, it's still one of the best sounds in motorsport, I reckon.
Definitely one of the best. There's just something so visceral about these sort of V8s, and then you still got your V10s with your German Audis and your Lamborghinis, and now even spectacularly V12s with the new Aston Martin Valkyrie that's over in WEC as well, which is just absolutely mega to listen to. So there's still people holding on to the wonderful dying art that is combustion engines, and they're doing a great job of it.
Porsche have been doing it for 50 years with the flat six.
Absolutely brilliant sound, that one. I do miss the RSR.
Oh. What a sound.
I won't get you started. But
what a sound. The RSR is amazing. Such a cool car. I actually I still take it, even on Gran Turismo sometimes, just take out the RSR. I just love the thing.
Great car, that one. One of the best race cars.
Just got a little bit of controversy here in chat. Just Fruit and Nut is it's after 9 o'clock, is the shittest chocolate from Tom Maloney. Wow. Tom, look, I agree. Oh, JP, a stop go 30. Okay.
For a collision on lap 2. Was that the one at that chicane?
That was the grass moment, yeah.
Yeah, alright, that is a heavy stick, fair enough. I guess the stewards have deemed him responsible. But I think we've also noticed that he is currently not racing. He has parked it for the night, probably had too much damage to feel like it was worth finishing, so unfortunate. But the stewards are doing their jobs regardless, as here we see...
So we're actually on board here. Okay, so we can probably break this down a little bit. So it comes through the chicane, gets a tap there from Salvaggio, goes across... okay. I don't want to touch that one, I'm going to be honest with you.
I can make assumptions, but I will not. I'm not the one that needs to do that. As we saw in the picture-in-picture, I think it was Shady was trying to make a move on Gobby, but it seems like it hasn't worked. Now Keys is ahead. So where's Rashmat? What's going on here? Am I missing something? So Shady's on the outside of Gobby here. Yep. Yeah, go on, Sean.
Yeah, I was going to say, Shady's on the outside here. He's going to try and go around Gobby here, and then Rashmat's right there. And Lucas Keys is right there as well. This is 3 Mustangs and an Aston. This normally only ends one way, and it is Rashmat who spins off, and as he got into the back of Shady Samuel, and Lucas Keys goes, well, I'll just take some of that, thank you. So, interesting. Rashmat's had a pretty eventful race, hasn't he?
Yes, he's had a very eventful race, and you know who hasn't had an eventful race is Keys, and he is now P4. I think we called it earlier on. He just sort of sat behind that battle pack that was near the start of the race, and now they've seemingly just disappeared, and he is behind Gobby, looking to get that final podium position. And with all respect to the number 72, Gobby, I don't think he'll be able to hold off Keys too long. So we'll have to see where he makes this move.
definitely. We've seen the kid do this many a times. This is what he does. This has been a very smart race from Lucas. He's just plotted his path beautifully. He's waited for stuff to happen around him. And, you know, with 6 minutes 40 remaining and with Rahali catching Rashudi, I tell you what, if Lucas get this done nice and quickly, he's not out of this. So this will be really, really interesting to see. I'd love to see a straight up battle between Lucas and Rahali. I really would. That would get me really up and about. But
Yeah,
he's
I
doing a
think
good job here, Gobby.
Yeah, he is. He's getting good exits, and that's all he needs in this Mustang, because as quick as the Aston is, that Mustang is rapid. So he's doing what he needs to so far. So we'll see what they can do, as Keys is right in his rear bumper on the exit of that corner. So he doesn't look to be gaining too much, but he might try and make a little bit of a move in here if he's feeling brave. Shows the nose, doesn't do too much with it, just making his presence known. But yeah, Gobby's doing a great job here, and you're not wrong. I think in a perfect commentator world, Rashudi and Rahali are going to come together and have a huge fight, and that's going to let these two catch up, and all of a sudden we're going to have a massive brawl for the podium positions in the last couple of laps of this race. But we'll have to see what happens. We've still got Shady sitting in the wings here, watching these two fight as well. Could easily pick up the pieces as well.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, Shady and his consistency. He's always in that top sort of 3, 4, 5, just consistent, just pumps out laps. Here goes Lucas now. He's going to have to be pretty brave here on the brakes because that Mustang we know is very quick, but Lucas is one of the last of the late breakers. Oh, Gobby goes extremely deep on the brakes there. That's a little too deep there, good sir. And that's going to allow Shady to have a crack here. Gobby goes really defensive up on the inside. Shady's going to try and go on the outside. That'll set him up perfectly for the hairpin. He'll get this done, I think, pretty easily. Oh, no, he's going to try and go on the outside again. Oh, has he got that done? Surely not. Holding it around the outside in the Mustang. That is brave. What a move, Shady Samuel. Oh, take it. Oh, Gobby's going to go on the outside now. Fantastic exchange. Great
Absolutely
stuff. Both
great
drivers.
racing from those two. Very, very respectful, as I mentioned from about Shady before. Just such a great racer. Absolutely rapid. Full of respect. And you could see it there going too wide through, what was that, 3 corners, I think, 3 pretty fast corners. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. Hate to see Gobby going down to P5, but he's still P1 in Pro-Am, and that's still a massive performance by him this race. But now we have Keys hunting down the back of Rahali and Rashudi, but that is a 6-second gap, so he's going to have to be very quick. But these two are pretty much bumper to tail at this point. So let's see what happens.
There's only 3 minutes 50 remaining, so rough calculation, 2 laps, maybe 3 laps. Look, it's not out of the realms of possibility, but Lucas is going to have to need a couple of really quick laps, and if this move happens like it's looking like at the moment, it's going to be run and done. Rahali pulls down to the inside. Stefano tries to go on the outside, but Rahali says, I don't think so. Well, Stefano's going to fight back here, but that just no grip at that part of the track, and now Rahali is in front, and this is game, set, and match. I have seen this before. I have seen it a couple of times out this season. Rahali is very good once he gets out front. Last week at Zolder was a perfect example.
Yeah, that was great racing by the two of them again. And a great move by Rahali to get, what was that, up the inside of T1. As much as Rashudi tried to really open it up and carry the speed, he just sort of got to the outside, couple of marbles, couldn't quite get the traction, couldn't quite keep the nose in for the left-hander. And by the long sweeping right, Rahali had his car ahead, and now he is in front and will try his best to just drive away for these last 3 minutes, which is a massive points boost for him coming into this final race. Even with Keys in P3, he will be going in with the lead. As we see here, Struick with a 10-second penalty for a collision on lap 4.
It's unfortunate there for Struick. He's currently down in 12th position at the moment. As we're looking here at Patrick Johnson, or PJ, as I called him last round, who's currently in 6th at the moment. Solid drive. Definitely take that as Rashmat gets a 15-second penalty there. Not unsurprising. bit of currently in 7th, so the positions are going to change around a little bit, considering there are a few invoices coming in now. And it's just oh, look at that. Look at the radar. You got to be kidding me, Austin.
I think I noticed that a little bit a while ago. I just didn't want to mention it because it's so sad. Rain in 30 again when they're not racing. It's all right. That's fine. We had rain at Bathurst. We had rain in the duos. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide.
Oh, we've got a question in chat. Oh, this is a good one. If animals could drive cars, which species would be the worst drivers? Well, that's easy for me.
Well, what did you say?
Oh, I agree with Kamara's. Fish. You've got to have hands, some sort of hand implement to drive. Fish haven't got hands and haven't got feet.
That is wild, because I immediately thought fish. So it's confirmed fish are the worst drivers. Snakes, I don't know, they could manage. Not as bad as fish. Wouldn't trust your dog to drive, says Race Control. That's fair. But I'm sure they could. You could probably train it.
Oh, that's very good from JC. Very good.
What else?
Sloths, yeah. Look, sloths are a good shout because they're too busy sleeping and not driving. Oh, Ferox goes humans.
Yeah, some of them. But a snail, that's not a bad call out, to be honest. A snail wouldn't be able to do much.
Giraffe would be interesting. Definitely convertible.
Definitely convertible. It would be sort of very interesting to watch a giraffe. I immediately pictured a mini, just for the comedy.
Yeah, so did I. I've got that Simpsons episode in my head now.
As we're watching here, so I think we're on the last lap now, because the leaders are going into T1. There's only 10 seconds left, so this will be the last lap. So looking at the positions, I think the top 3 are probably settled. I'm not saying Rashuti can't get back to P1, but Nahali's looking very quick. Keys is off in his own spot at the moment, 5 seconds to P2, but 2.5 seconds to Shady behind him. So it looks like the main fight here at the moment is with Carl Johnson and sort of the rear end of this top 10. So we've got Underwood behind him in the Bentley, followed by Warren in another Porsche, and then Paul Stewart in the Aston, who will be fighting for on-track positions, but with his 10-second voice. Will not be keeping any of these currently. So yeah, we'll have to see what they do in this last lap.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I'm just having a look at the track map there as well. It looks like a bit of a battle there between Gobby and PJ for 5th and 6th as well. Sort of a 0.4 gap. There we go. Big thank you does go to the one and only Benjamin Hignett, providing these amazing pictures as well. As we are looking here at... I got distracted there by chat for a second. Focus on the job, Sean. Here's Gobby defending very hard. PJ now, he's just starting to get aggressive. He's really got... Oh, that's going to hurt. Just got a little bit too much there on the curb. And it probably just spun the wheels up a little bit. Or the TC just kicked in a little bit too much. And it just ruins your drive a little bit. The Aston also has that problem that the turbo takes forever to spool up. But it's going to be Rahalia takes race 2. Stefano will finish in 2nd. Lucas Keys, the kid, will finish in 3rd. And here's this battle. Gobby's got to hold on for 4th. Is he? Shady Sentinel will get 4th. 5th for Gobby. PJ in 6th. Rashwat on road will finish in 7th. Salvaggio, fantastic drive, will finish in 8th, probably 7th. And then it's going to be Carl Johnson, Robbie Underwood, Zach Warren, and Joshua Stroik, who has got a 10-second invoice, so that may drop him down the order. Pete Chalmers there in 13th. Brickley in that gorgeous Bentley in 14th. Scotty Rochford there in 15th. Igor will finish in 16th. Great drive, Igor. Brad Gosling will win AM as well. Great job there from Brad. Pete Viney in 17th. Gormley, O'Brien, and Johnson are your 20 on the road. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, 10-second penalty right there. Oh, savage. But yeah, that right is race 2. Run and done.
Well, very dramatic, but I can't say it wasn't entertaining to watch. Great work from Rahali getting the win in race 2. Keys recovering all the way to 3rd with honestly what seemed like a very quiet race for him. So well done there. Gobby with P1 in Pro-Am in the 2nd race there. Managed to hold on for 5th. That is a great performance, but still my driver of the day will be Salvaggio. Managing P7 at the end after penalties. absolutely great performance from him. So strong performance from Pro-Ams today. Yeah, what a session. Sad there's no rain, but always delivers the content, these reverse grid races.
Certainly does. So recapping our race results here. So race one was, race one was Lucas Keys, Shady Samuel and GP Sonikas. And across in silver class was Carl Johnson, Warren and Underwood. In Pro-Am, it was Salvaggio, Gobby and Scotty Rochford. Then in the AM class was Gosley, Gormley and Johnson. Then moving along to race two, it was Rahali, Rashudi and Keys. Then in silver class was Johnson, Underwood and Warren. And then in Pro-Am, it was Gubby, Salvaggio and Pete Chalmers. Then across in the AM class was Gosling again, Gormley and Johnson. But other than that, that's been a thoroughly entertaining night of racing. A big thank you does go to the one and only Benjamin Hignett for the pictures. Also, a big thank you goes to our amazing stewarding team. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Austin. It's been a blast calling the action with you, mate.
It is always a pleasure to do comms with you, Sean, the one and only. Yeah, what a night it has been tonight. That was some great racing between Split Blue, Split Red. To keep the racing going, as we've mentioned before, we have LMU tomorrow night. They are racing around the Bahrain Outer Ring. GT3s and hypercars. Should be a lot of fun. Either get in, get racing, or hopefully watch the stream. And then obviously next week, Paul Ricard, final round of this series, 1 week break, and then we're straight back into season 21. So lots of racing coming up. So look forward to it.
Definitely. So thank you to everyone watching. Hope you do enjoy your Thursday night. And once again, please, those in Queensland and around the Brisbane area and sort of northern New South Wales, please stay safe. Look after yourselves. As I said, no hero stuff. If you're told to go, bloody go. Don't mess with Mother Nature. She is undefeated. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your night. And as always, you've been watching Aloha.